just afternoon here at the Valley, and welcome to a new championship season, which in itself just sounds fantastic to say. Yes, we are back in the championship, and we're here to take on Watford at the Valley at what promises to be a fairly full Valley this afternoon. And alongside me, of course, is Greg Stubley. Happy anniversary to Greg Stubley, by the way. It's number 10. And you'll hear from his dulcet tones very shortly. And further alongside him and me is Mr. Steve Brown. Steve, how are you, mate? Good summer?
A very good summer, thank you, Terence.
I don't know, holidays, promotions, it's all gone on.
Yep, we've had a good one. We had a little 3 weeks in Vietnam, me and Mrs. Brown, so that was lovely. We've had a promotion, and the build-up this week, actually, to this game has got the juices flowing for sure.
Well, it's all good to know that Brownie's juices are flowing.
Absolutely.
Apologies if you're having any dinner. just sport that completely. But let's talk about, obviously we're here. Yes, we got Watford today, but Brownie, generally, what are your thoughts on today and the season ahead? I suspect, just to give your insight as to what to expect.
Well, what to expect is a tough season, to be brutally honest. And today's opponents, I think, is a decent start for us. The home tie, is what Nathan would have wanted to see as a first fixture. He's got that. He's got an opponent that I think is beatable. It's not like we're sitting here facing one of the teams that's expected to be at the top of the league. We're not. I think Watford finished 14th last year. They've had a change of manager. They've had quite a change of personnel in the squad. And I think both sides, it's fair to say, with the amount of signings we've made, are in uncharted territory. And we don't kind of know where these two teams are going to finish. But for us, if we're staying realistic, it's about staying in the championship. If you go back to Lee Bowyer's promotion-winning side, and you think about how he was back during the summer and how Nathan's been backed, I think we're on a much better footing than we were 6 years ago. I think the squad's in a much better place. It's got more strength in depth. The board have backed Nathan to the hilt in terms of spending money. I think we're one of the top spenders in the league. Albeit that doesn't make you favourites. What it does is it means we're behind the 8 ball in terms of recruitment. But it's great to see that the backing was there and that the recruitment team were, in full swing pretty much straight away. So an impressive turnaround in the window we had to sign the amount of players we had.
You get the feeling, though, that Nathan Jones, he did admit to me on Thursday, he did manage to get away, but how much relaxing he could do, 'cause knowing what's ahead of us, knowing what was ahead of us when we got that promotion. Yes, we were 3 weeks behind, but I did also ask him, and we'll hear shortly, that was that a hindrance to him? He didn't feel it was particularly, because I think you get the feeling that the preparation was sort of done just in case, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense? Where if we're successful in 2 or 3 weeks' time, then these are the players we want.
Yeah, I think that would have been the plan from quite a way out, actually. As soon as you get on the charge that Charlton were on in that second half of the season, I'm guessing around March time, you start to look at both leagues. Okay, right, let's recruit for one and let's recruit for the other. I just wonder if on quite a few of the players, you would have tried to recruit them regardless of what level we were at. There's some League One players in there that have been incredible additions if we'd have stayed in League One, who are now going to have to prove themselves in the Championship because it's uncharted territory for them. And they're quite, that's quite a gamble from the club's perspective, because if you do get 1 or 2 of those and they fire on all cylinders, suddenly you've got players that are worth a lot more money. The Championship will do that. If you can get players to a level in the Championship, suddenly, that they become a major asset financially. But yeah, I can tell you one thing that Nathan won't have been, and that's been able to switch off particularly. That's what I can tell you, because your phone is 24 hours a day. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. If there's a deal to be done or there's some news that you need to get to him, he has to be available. So as much as he's tried to relax, as much as he's got away, got himself a little suntan, that phone never is off. And it's just a case of, can you have a few quiet days? That's all he's after, a few quiet days along the way.
I've got to be honest, 3 weeks in Vietnam, I was expecting you to come back a lot more bronzed.
No, I don't have that skin, unfortunately.
Well, I was just wondering whether or not you spend most of the time in the bar.
No. I wear factor 50 and my skin goes red and back to white.
Oh, what, factor 50?
Do you? Well, I can't explain it to you, Tel. Just unlucky, I guess.
You've got this. Do you know what it is? It's the Nordic blood and skin. Is what it is.
Viking warrior.
Viking warrior. That's what it is. So we mentioned Nathan Jones. What we thought might his plans be. Well, we caught up with him on Charlton TV on Thursday, and let's hear what Nathan Jones had to say. Nathan, it actually feels like quite a long time since we spoke last, and since time has passed since both pre and post Wembley. Did you manage to get some time away immediately after Wembley, and were you able to rest given what you knew what was coming?
It's not so much about rest, really, because it's been a real full-on summer in terms of recruitment and a difficult summer in terms of recruitment. But it was more of just trying to recharge a little bit, really, and just get some family time, and then just recharge really after a long grueling season. And they're all long and grueling regardless of where you finish or what you do. They're all tough, especially when you're immersed in it.
You touched on it there, obviously, as a result of the extended season we had. We're 3 weeks behind other teams, certainly in this division. Has that felt like a hindrance? I mean, we've been quite active from quite early on, but did it feel like a hindrance, that 3 week difference?
No, not at all. I mean, look, what we have to do is make sure we look after the players through. It hasn't been a hindrance recruitment-wise. No, it hasn't been. We're very structured on that, and we're always in early anyway. In terms of the players we want, and we identify them early. It's just what we have to do is make sure we look after the players, because they're going into a long, grueling season, as is football now. The top players play tournament after tournament after tournament. They never get any respite, and that's when people get injured further down the line. So what we have to do is use the international breaks really well, because we demand from our players. But no, look, we're looking forward to it.
You touched again there, 9 new signings. Some existing players have signed additional contracts, including your own, of course, additional contract. How would you assess the business that we've done up to this point?
I think we've done excellent business. I'm delighted. It's not far off a perfect window. We went after some real bold signings. We lost out maybe one, maybe two, but were able to get either the next one or ones we were contemplating anyway. So it was that. So it's probably not far off a perfect window. And as I've said on numerous occasions now, thank the owners, thank the board. Jim, has worked tirelessly with myself over the window. The recruitment department, we revamped that, and they were super organised, as I knew they would be because I've worked with them before. So look, we feel we've had a very, very good window and a real productive window. And if you look at the squad, without being disrespectful to anyone, when I look at the squad that finished the season at Wickham last year, we're in a categorically different position.
When you first arrived with us a few seasons ago now, you were quite open that you wanted to streamline the squad to make it more manageable, and it was fairer on the players as well. Notwithstanding that rules on the squad sizes this season are different, we've got 2 extra subs. Do you anticipate more incoming and out? Are you happy with where we are, but do you anticipate more coming in and going out before these transfer windows close?
What we have to do is make sure that we streamline the squad, because it's too big now. There's a few here that are excellent players, but we probably won't take with us, and especially not in the short term. So we have to find clubs for those, and then realistically, if there is scope to improve the squad, we never turn that down.
How was the squad generally ahead of Saturday? Obviously, Matty Gordon, Luke Berry, and more recently Reece Burkham didn't figure much or at all during pre-season. Obviously, players take knocks as well, but how are we as we approach that?
Apart from Reece Burkham and Matty Gordon, we're pretty much full strength, so in a good place.
Great stuff. During our euphoric post-match celebrations at Wembley, you said to the fans that were there, and I'll paraphrase this, that they'd be mad not to get on board for this coming season. And we've got a record number for 10 years, I think, since we had this number of season tickets going into the season. Looks like we're going to have a record crowd for 16 seasons at the Valley on Saturday, so it looks like they listen to you.
Well, I just think they're coming along with the journey. That's what we're so pleased and so proud about. We've united. We think the greatest thing we've done. We've got promoted. We've signed players. But what we've done is we feel that the club's united now, and that goes from the ownership to the board to the staff to players to the fans to the community. Everything, we are united, and that's the greatest thing. Now, together we can all move forward. And that's what we've always said. It's not about one man, it's not about one player, it's not about just piling money into something. This is a project that we want to improve on every level. And you look at it and everyone has stepped up. You look at the Valley now, it's better. The underneath, you know, the way that we've done the dressing rooms, we've done the manager, the way they've done the tunnel, just every single thing now we're trying to improve in terms of the football club. Fans have bought into that. They see they club back to where they want it to be. They've had some wonderful times at this football club. They've had some testing times, but I think most clubs have testing times, you know, and they have responded magnificently. So, as you said, this is the next step on our journey, because the Championship isn't our destination.
And the Championship, it will bring its own daunting task ahead, but Saturday, with the big crowd, with the way the Valley has been prepared, it must be, the whole squad must be really looking forward to Saturday. It's going to be a big occasion.
I never use the word daunting, you know, because what they are, these are challenges, and these are things, this is what we wanted. So if you get what you want, but it tests you, then there's nothing daunting about it, you know. We're going to come up against some real tough teams, good teams, well coached, excellent talent, bigger budgets, whatever it is, like perennial Championship clubs, up and down Premier League clubs, whatever we come up against. But that's what we wanted. We want to test ourselves, and that's what life and sport and especially football is about. We wanted to go up, not because we just wanted one day at Wembley, because it'd been far easier if we had just stayed in the division and been a stronger, bigger fish in that. But we want to test ourselves. So there's nothing daunting about it. It's exciting. We're going to be tested. We're going to have some tough times. We know that, but that's why we do it.
So that was Nathan Jones talking to us ahead of this afternoon's opening Championship fixture. The crowd building here at the Valley, the atmosphere building as well, Brownie. It's getting exciting now, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, I catch the train up, and there was more people on the train from London Bridge to here today at sort of 10 o'clock in the morning than you would expect. I think we had that a couple of games at the end of last season, but by and large, I think we're going to have to adjust accordingly, because there was a lot of movement outside the ground, and hopefully you're picking up the covered end just singing away to our left. We've got Chrissy Powell coming out to be introduced to the fans in about 5-10 minutes time, just to really crank it up. I think in terms of the build up to this week, the one thing we were almost concrete, you know, and in unison about is that there's going to be an atmosphere here today. You know, that goes without saying. It's been a long time coming, getting out of League One, and I think I said it Wednesday or Thursday on the show. Enjoy the Championship. This team hopefully makes you proud, but enjoy the Championship and enjoy what it brings. And I'll go back to what I said earlier. Look, you know, we're going to have some bumps in the road, that's for sure. This is going to be a very tough year. It's going to be a very competitive league. But when they're having bumps in the road, still get behind this team. You know, because I heard Kerb say it on Thursday. When you're at a bit of a low ebb, it's kind of when you need the fans the most. When you're doing well, it just creates this wonderful atmosphere, and you go home with a real buzz. But when you're on a bit of a low, that's kind of when you don't need the kicks in the teeth. That's when you need the support more than ever. And I think we're going to have a couple of lows this year, and hopefully, you know, the fans understand that this is altogether a building platform for you know, next 5-10 years, rather than, you know, pushing promotion.
Well, it was a question that was asked to Nathan Jones in that conference, where and he just said, they said, what are you expecting? And he just said Charlton fans to be Charlton fans. He said that they were integral in getting us to that, you know, position last season, and they'll be integral, I'm sure, in ensuring that we stay in the Championship this season. One of the things that he did say, Nathan, as well, is that he was really pleased, really happy with the position he's in now with the squad, with who he's bought. Didn't discount any more possibilities. Did say that it was likely that there'd be a few people, you know, a few players leaving. Whether that be loan or permanent, we're not sure. But because he doesn't like having too big a squad, because it's not fair on the players that they're not playing.
Well, and it's hard to manage. It's hard to manage, Tel. And if you're putting on a training session, you don't do training well, very rarely do training sessions for 30 people. You know, so I mean, you can do. You know, you can chuck in a waves and have 3 teams of 10. But that is, I mean, you are talking about top heavy, and you know, it's very hard to get messages across to 30 players. So there's that to think about when you're a manager as well. Plus, you know full well the ones that are, even today, you've got how many subs? 2, 4, 6, 9 substitutions, right? And there's still players being left out behind that. And what I would say to you is those guys that get left out, they're sitting up in the stand right now, and they're feeling pretty lonely. They're feeling pretty, left out. In terms of, you've done the training for the week, and then you get to a Saturday where you should be buzzing, putting on a shirt, and you're not. You're sat in the stand with the rest of the supporters, and I wasn't there too often, to be honest. I was always involved in some capacity, but when you are up there, it is horrible.
Well, there's one of the new signings that have come to us, and there's an excitement about him. He was one of the, I think, number 7. I think it might have been 7 or 8, and that was Charlie Kelman. And he sat down to talk to us on Thursday as well. Let's hear from him. Charlie Kelman. Charlie, just a few days to go before the start of the Championship season. It'll be a bumper crowd at the Valley, but you can't wait to get going.
No, I'm excited. When I first signed, I said about the fans. Obviously, I played against them the second game of the season, and it was electric that day, and even at Wembley. So I'm sure they're excited to be back in the Championship. All the boys are excited, and we just want to get going.
I was going to ask that question. I know you've only been here just over a week, but have you noticed a ramp up of the excitement level, the mood in the camp coming to the start of the season?
Especially today in training, you can see everyone's up for it. We're all talking about it now, and there's just different things going on. We're excited, we're focused, and we know it's going to be tough, but we're just looking forward to it. Yeah.
If I can touch on yourself, if I may, born in Basildon in the UK, but you moved across to the States quite early on, and began your footballing career on your journey at FC Dallas. Is that right? And then Southend. How did the Southend move come about? Did they come and look for you? Did you choose to come back to the UK, and how did it pan out?
No, funny enough, I moved back, and my uncle knows Dave Huzzy, who actually works here. And said, "Oh, do you mind if my nephew comes in?" And he was like, "Oh, he can, come in." And I scored a hat trick on my debut, and the rest was history. So, yeah. You
were prolific for the academy, Southend Academy, as a young player. Scored a wonder goal on your debut as well at the age of 17, and then signed by QPR by the time you were 19. It must have felt like so much was happening for you so quickly at that point. Was that tough to cope with?
Yeah, I think now looking back on it. It was a tough period. Obviously, you had so much success so quickly when you're playing in the first team at 18, and then you moved to the Championship. Was I ready? Probably not. But them experiences I wouldn't change for the world, because now I'm a man, and you look back at them experiences, and when you go through tough times and how you navigate that, and there's no coincidence when the going got tough last year, I come out the other end of it, how I did.
And that's what I was going to touch on. You had the experience of 3 loan clubs over a period of time: Wigan, Orient, Gillingham. It certainly felt though last season that everything fell into place. Is that fair?
Yeah, I've been vocal about it. Many EFL strikers don't. They early on in their career they struggle to find their feet, and then between normally the ages of 22 and 24 they have their breakout season, and I'm 23, slap bang in the middle of that, and I don't want to look back and be like, I've had a great season, I want to kick on now and really kickstart my career.
Golden Boot winner last season, the appearance at Wembley, which I won't talk about too much, obviously. But other clubs were obviously interested in you as well as Charlton. What was it about Charlton that made you choose South London?
The manager, and obviously I had the experience of playing Charlton quite a few times last year. But the project that the gaffer talks about, everyone has a project going on, but the gaffer was backing it up with the signings, with the environment that he's building. I saw the environment with the boys firsthand last year, playing against them, the togetherness, the grit, the determination, and it's just something I wanted to be a part of straight away. I want to make a name for myself in the Championship, but I've just got to work hard, keep my head down, keep focused, and I'm sure I can do that. I
remember seeing the video when you arrived at the club, and you mentioned then that you might have played against a few of the players at the club. You'd never actually played with any of the players at the club. Does that make it difficult in that move, make it more difficult to settle in?
No, I don't think it makes it difficult to settle in. It takes time to form relationships. I'm sure that eventually it will click, and hopefully it clicks on Saturday. But no, the boys have been welcoming. I've enjoyed training. It's been intense. It's been tough. Obviously, pre-season, the start of pre-season for me was a bit up in the air, but once I got here, I got sorted. They've been beasting me outside, so I'm ready to go on Saturday.
Do you set yourself? Are you a player that sets yourself targets? Do you set yourself a goal target or any sort of target for the seasons that you might want to share? You might not want to share them at all, but are you that type of player? Do you set yourself targets?
I wasn't really, but then at the start of last season, I said I wanted to win the Golden Boot. and I achieved that, which I'm thankful for. But for this season, I think it's just to attack it with open arms and see what comes of it. I'm just going to enjoy it. Obviously, I've got my goals, got my aspirations, and eventually I'll be able to speak about them. But no, I'm just going to keep my head down for now, keep focused, and try and get as many goals as I can.
Good luck with it, Jim.
Thank you very much.
Well, welcome back, everybody, and I have to tell you, we've just witnessed greatness on the pitch. Mr. Chris Powell, Sir Chris Powell, back on the Valley service and taking the plaudits from the Valley and the covered end especially. And one man we should thank for that, to my right-hand side, Mr. Steve Brown. Well done, mate.
Having a moment, actually.
It's good, lad.
Yeah.
So you should.
It doesn't happen
We've
often.
all had a moment. That man is look, he's not just a legend, he's a lovely fella, which helps.
That is, do you know what, I don't really take much notice of my job, to be honest. I just crack on with it. But when you see that from the covered end and the rest of the stadium, when you see that, which is pretty a full covered end, saluting one of their own, I didn't think it was going to be that good. Yeah, and Powley plays his part, obviously, because he's a wonderful individual. And I was just about to say to you off air when we cut back in that you see it from a fan's perspective, so you see the legend of the manager and the player. I just see the human being, which is, I've just been downstairs talking to him. And, you know, all the things that are said about Chris are 100% accurate, and he's just one of the nicest people you'll ever wish to meet. And, yeah, I don't often get taken aback by moments, but that was a bit special.
Well, it hopefully means that we'll have more special days like that as we go through this special season, to be fair.
You drop your sausage roll, Sel?
Well, no, this... I'll just better give you a bit of technical background here. Mr. Stubley has put all the boxes in a spare seat that somebody wants to sit in. So it's Stubley's fault, basically. So don't worry, I'll sort it out. Yeah, of course it's your fault. So there we are, we're all right, back to normal. But look, I mean, when we have moments like this, when we're back in the Championship and the covered end is full, the stadium is, what we're looking, 90%, do you reckon? Somewhere in that order?
It will be,
80,
yeah.
85,
but the covered
90%.
end's not far short now. And that, do you know what? If I would say one thing, if we do have occasions where we bring a Chris Powell back, and there's a good 10, 20 proper, what I would call proper legends of this football club, of which Chris is right up there. It would be lovely if people would just get to their seats 10 or 15 minutes before, because you have to do it 15 minutes before because of the build-up to the game. The players are starting to come out in the tunnel about 20 past, 25 past.
It's one of those things, though, as a fan, and I'm not, and I would have taken it a little bit for granted, I'm sure, as a fan, where, oh yeah, I'll get in there and you're having your beers outside and all that. When it becomes something that they expect all the time, and it becomes part of the routine, you'll get there.
The thing is with ex-players stuff, Tel, it's hard because you rotate, you try not to rotate the same people, even though whether you like it or not, there are 10, 15, 20 players that will mean more to the fan base than others. And you try not to rotate the same people over, but you know, with certain players, when they're announced as coming back, they deserve that reception Chris got there. Whenever that man comes back, we should see exactly what we just saw there. So thanks to all the people that sat in their seats early and gave him the reception that he thoroughly deserved. It was lovely to see.
It was lovely indeed. And hopefully the first of many more legends, and hopefully the first of Chris Powell coming back on a more regular basis. Now he's no longer. Well, although you suspect that won't be for long.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, we're in a pretty good spot as a football club now, so maybe there's a conversation to be had, but he won't be short of offers, that's for sure. One of the hardest things getting him here today was that he was offered work straight away.
Oh, if he doesn't
not coaching work, but
TV and all that. Yeah, absolutely.
And it was just a case of, you know, selling him what we just saw. That was the sell. First game back in the Championship, 20,000 plus crowd, Chris. You get wheeled out. You know, it'd be a lovely, lovely afternoon for you, or morning as it turns out. But he's still got to turn down work to come, and some people don't.
Well, let's hope that, and I'm sure it would have actually, let's hope that welcome from the Valley faithful is enough to make sure he comes back time and time again, and I'm sure it will, actually. So back to today's game, just to let everybody know, we are going to have a minute's applause before kick-off. It's obviously to sadly acknowledge the passing of Ethan Ade Odavali and George Costa, and to remember Pierre Belengi as well, as we do this time every year, of course. But so that will take place pre-kick-off. But in the meantime, the two teams are coming out, and as they do, I'll read you out the two sides, starting with our visitors, Watford. In goal for them, number 1, Egil Selvik. 2, Jeremy Nkaggia. 4, Kevin Caben. 5, Hector Cipriano. 9, Luca Krumgaard. 10, Imran Louza. 16, Mark Boller. 17, Musa Sissoko, the captain. 20, Mamadou Doumbia, I beg your pardon. 25, James Abankwa. And 34, Kwadwo Bar. The subs for Watford: Nathan Baxter, Max Allain, Tom Ince, Rivaldo Semedo, Tom Deli Bashiru, Ede Kayombe, Jack Greaves, Ryan Andrews and Nestori Irankunda. The Charlton side will line up with in goal, number 1, Thomas Kaminski. 2, Kane Ramsey. 5, Lloyd Jones. 6, Connor Coventry. 7, Therese Campbell. 10, the captain, Greg Doherty. 14, Sonny Carey. 16, Josh Edwards. 17, Amari Bell. 23, Charlie Kelman. And 30, Rob Apter. Your subs for Charlton: Will Mannion, Macaulay Gillespie, Alex Mitchell, Luke Berry, Miles Leeburn, Karoy Anderson, Tanto Alafe, Joe Rankin Costello and Harvey Nibbs. Your referee for this afternoon is Stephen Martin, going to be assisted by Mike Dwyer and Carl Fitzjackson, and your fourth official is Alex Chilovich. So Brownie, your thoughts on that lineup?
Yeah, I don't think I'd have been too far out if you'd have asked me an hour ago, if I'm honest with you, Tel. I think there's a little bit of faith shown in players from last year. There's obviously a new right wing back in Apter, and he's a completely different type of player than the player that we had in at right wing back last year. We need to make sure he gets in forward areas as much as humanly possible. We don't want him in a defensive structure as much as we need him in that final third. Doherty and Coventry, I think, is a very good base in front of that back three of Ramsey, Jones and Bell. And Bell's the one I think I would have been 50-50. I think Gillespie from last season probably deserved a shot at starting this campaign, but he's lost out to Bell, and it's now down to Bell to make sure that he keeps hold of that shirt, because I think if he doesn't hit form immediately, he knows we've got a very capable player in Gillespie to come into that left-hand slot immediately. But yeah, a great opportunity for this 11 to hit the ground running.
You could probably say that about all 11 positions actually now, with the signings that Nathan Jones has made. I'd say pretty much everybody has to be on their best game, because there's decent cover waiting in the sidelines.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But just in terms of if you'd have asked me who I would have started, the only position there I would have been unsure about would have been Gillespie, because like if I was Gillespie from last season, I'd have been really disappointed that I'd made the starting 11 at the start of this campaign. But you know, he'll fight for his place. It's part and parcel of football. You know, there's always an evolution every summer, and it's now down to Gillespie to stay in good mental shape, good physical shape, so when that door opens and he's back in, you perform well enough to keep your spot.
So as I said earlier, we are now going to have a minute's applause for the passing of Ethan Ade Odavali and George Costa. Tragic news that we heard in recent weeks. And of course to remember Pierre Belengi, 25th anniversary of his passing, and the Pierre Belengi Trust is in front of us, and they're continuing their good work to remember Pierre Belengi. And I'll leave you with Dave Lockwood, pitch side.
Ending on the referee's whistle as we remember 3 cherished members of our family who will never be forgotten. Thank you.
the applause in memory of Adi Odevali, George Costa, and of course Pierre Belenghi. As Dave quite succinctly put, 3 members of the Charlton family who are no longer with us, sadly, but will never ever be forgotten. There we are. We are ready to get underway. It's been a long 5 seasons, Brownie, but we're back.
We are. And the first look at an opposition in the Championship, physicality across the front line. You look at Barr, Dubia and Kurumgard, they're all a very good size, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", so they've got to deal with that physicality along the front line.
Well, we're underway. Welcome back to Championship football, Alex fans, as Watford get us underway. And immediately go down to Charlton left. Watford in dark green shirts, black shorts. Ramsey dealing with the first ball forward, sends it forward. Apter with a header, looking for Kelman, who takes the touch. Can he get past his man? He's into the right corner of the penalty area and swings one way, then goes the other, and surely he's fouled there. You can see the shirt pull from Abankwah, and how that wasn't penalised, I've no idea.
I'm astonished. I mean, what's the point of having the linesman?
Move down the left-hand side now between. Oh, there's another foul. This time on the marauding Josh Edwards, found by Therese Campbell on the left, and he's fouled by Barr, and Charlton have a free kick.
I find it hard to explain how this linesman doesn't see that. He's 4 foot from it. It's a clear shirt pull. You know, and I know we've won a free kick down the left, but they're important moments. Set pieces, the opportunity to swing balls into an opponent's box, they're big moments. You know, his job is to see that.
Valley faithful in full cry with the Therese Campbell song. And it will be a free kick on the left. Apter over this, as is Carey. Just trying to... Watford with everybody back in the box. It's short to Campbell. Campbell just had to take a touch, and as a result of that, I think it was just came a little bit harder than he expected, Campbell. And then when he tried to go back to Apter, under pressure, put the ball out of play for a throw-in.
Yeah, you know, easy to be, you know, critical now because it's not come off, but we're a minute 30 on the clock, in a great position to swing a ball into the opposition 6-yard box to put them under pressure, and we've relinquished that by maybe trying to be a bit too clever.
Well, Watford try and play it out, but they've given the ball straight to Bell, inside to Ramsey. He's going to swing it across towards either Kelman or Campbell, and it's allowed to run by Ngakia, and it's away for a goal kick, but a fairly pulsating opening 2 minutes.
Yeah, great atmosphere, exactly what we sort of wanted from the covered end, right behind the team. Lovely first touch from Kelman, got away from his man. Was unlucky not to draw the free kick, but yeah, good opening moments for Charlton.
Goal kick taken short into the 6-yard box to Selvik, left to Abankwah. We'll know this pitch fairly well, but the ball forward's cut out by Jones. Super work from Jones, out to Apter on the right hand side. Oh, took a heavy touch, but can he get there? Yes, brings it back across. Jones with a shot, saved by Selvik. Jones, had kept his run going, is out to Therese Campbell, lifts the ball in, headed clear, be picked up by Coventry, back out to Campbell. Ball to the left to Edwards, good ball across, headed away. Coventry tries to keep the move going, out to Apter, and does so. Apter has to find Ramsey behind him. Watford try and push out. Ramsey across to Bell. Jones still forward as the ball is sent in down the left-hand side. Cleared only as far as Edwards, up towards Kelman. He gets something on it, but can't direct it to a red shirt, and it's cleared away. But Ramsey underneath that, up towards Carey, who gets a touch. Kelman, good use of his body. Touch to Campbell. Campbell finds Carey again. Carey with Apter on the right. Apter, does Charlton keep the pressure on? Right side of the penalty area. Trying to get the ball across with his left foot, but it's blocked and brought away. But only as far as Ramsey. Ramsey out to Apter once more. It's got too much on it and out of play for a throw-in. But Charlton really in the ascendancy in the opening few minutes.
Yeah, love to see Jones with the interception with that ball up to Curran guard, and that's what allowed him to then feed the ball out onto the right-hand side and continue his run to get that shot away with the save from Selvik. But what I love from Apter is he's attacking the outside. He's renowned for cutting in on that left, and they're doubling up on that inside channel, and it was great to see him drive to the byline with a beautiful ball into the middle of 6. Wonderful save from Selvik to keep Watford level at 0-0.
Well, Watford are just playing it round the back, maybe just trying to take the sting out of Charlton for a minute. And it's Keben, Ngakia, lifting across the pitch to find Abankwah, who's got a bit of space to move into. Abankwah, Coventry trying to close it down. Now up to Doumbia. Doumbia cutting inside. Back to Lousa. Lousa with Abankwah to his left. Lousa once more. And then swapping passes with Abankwah again. Charlton forcing Watford back and all the way back to Selvik on the edge of his penalty area. It's got Kevin to his right. Instead goes long down that right-hand channel. Edwards spots it, comes across, heads it away before Barr can be interested in it. It will be a Watford throw, 15 yards or so inside the Charlton half on the right-hand side. Thrown back and inside to Lutzer. Across to Abankwah in the centre circle. Closed down, has to find Kevin. Charlton just holding station, not allowing Watford to come forward. Now the ball forward, it's read by Jones and steps in, and Jones to Carey, rides one challenge, still Sonny Carey on the right hand side. It looked like he was taken late and just went out of play, and again a moment now I didn't think the official down here was going to give it, but he did eventually. Yeah,
he's done well there, Carey, because he had nowhere to go. He knew he was under pressure. He just flicked it off his opponent to win the throw-in, which relieves pressure. You know, it's a good drive to go from our half into the opponent's half. But we're going to have to be patient today. That's one thing we've seen in this first 6 minutes is Watford are going to try and build up. They're going to be quite patient. And if we can't get the press quite right, it looks like it's going to be a Abankwah that drives out of the left side of centre-half position with the ball. And it's how we set up behind that. If we don't get the press right, I think it's fair to just allow them to have possession and filter back into a decent shape.
Try to go forward then, the ball from Bell trying to pick out Campbell. It went a little bit too far for him, and then Watford spring forward after that, and it's the right hand side with Barr gets the ball in. Coventry clears it away up towards Campbell, who's tussling in there with Ngakia, gets something on it, and then Doherty snaps in with a challenge. It's going to be a Watford throw halfway inside the Charlton half on the right. Looks with a quick throw back to Kevin. Come and get it again as looks for the run through the middle, and it's a decent enough run, but fortunately for Charlton, Sissoko wasn't quick enough to catch up with it. It'll be a goal kick to Charlton, although the assistant over there nearly fell over in giving that decision, and Charlton will have the goal kick in front of
I think we've got to I think we've got to just take care of Lousa a little bit. He's had quite a few touches already, bit of time and space on the ball. He's shown he's got a very good range of pass, and that's somebody who I'd shut down a little bit quicker.
Coventry trying to play it through, but it's blocked away by, so that was the number 5. Charlton managed to stop the initial attack after Cipriano. It is. He's listed initially as number 12, but he's actually number 5. Watford, as a result, have a throw on the right hand side. Looks like this might be a long throw into the Charlton box.
This is where that physicality comes in. Got some very good height within the front line.
And it comes towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Jones trying to get there. Bell does, and then it's further cleared by Edwards. Ball back into the box. Cipriano with a header, and it's a lovely header from Ramsey. Dropping ball towards Sissoko. Gets it wrong under pressure. Ball goes out for a Charlton goal kick.
Yeah, and that's a foul as well. It's a great header from Ramsey under pressure, but that's a push. And the ball did drop to a Watford player who gets the volley away, and if that finds the back of the net, you're going to feel really harshly done by. Just missing one or two little incidents for me at the moment, the officials.
Kaminski with a goal kick. Headed away by Ngakia, but Doherty meets it and sends it forward, asking Campbell to pursue it. Ngakia gets that wrong, off of Campbell. Fortunately, Kevin's there to clear it away. Up towards the front line, Jones with the header. Coventry snapping into Sissoko, but Sissoko out to Barr. Going to take on Edwards. Edwards does well, holds his ground, comes away with the ball as well. They'll touch towards Campbell, who's on his toes. Therese Campbell cuts inside. He went the wrong way, really. Wasn't to know that Ngakia was going in the same direction, but it means he loses out and Watford have possession back. But Ramsey snapping in the challenge. Almost wins possession back for Charlton, but it's Lutzer for Watford. Doherty trying to take him out, misses and stays on the ground. The Charlton captain, as Lutzer comes away with the ball. It's like he just twisted something there. Doherty as he landed. Looks he's up on his feet again though. Hopefully he's okay. There's Ngakia. Ball out to Barr. Barr looking to take on Edwards. Down the Charlton left-hand side, still Barr. Edwards again with a good tackle. Can Coventry tidy up? No, Barr just recovers in time to regain possession. Back to Kevin. Across to Abankwah. Abankwah out here to Doumbia. Looks to go for the 1-2, but the Cipriani pass far too far ahead of him, and it's away for a Charlton goal kick. We've had 10 minutes of this first half, still goalless here.
It is, but it shouldn't be. It's a wonderful save from Selvig that kept Watford in the game. It was a wonderful move from Charlton, but Watford just starting to get a little bit of momentum in the last 3 or 4 minutes, and they're just starting to keep possession relatively well, which is allowing the movement in the front line to be better. They haven't created too much, but they are just starting to get the upper hand possession-wise.
Bell under pressure from Sissoko, manages to get it out to Doherty. Doherty sending the ball forward, asking Kelman to chase it. Kevin gets there just ahead of him. And manages to turn away from Kelman. Finds Lutzer, who's staying very deep. He's almost like a fifth defender at times, Lutzer. Ball up to Bowler. Back to Lutzer again, who's halfway inside his own half with a Abankwah to his left. Ball forward up towards Kurengard. Back to Abankwah. Inside to Lutzer once more. Definitely the playmaker for Watford, the Watford number 10.
All day, yeah. We might have to forfeit somebody to do a man marking job, because if he starts to influence, so when he gets control, that's better from Carey. Right into his face, nice and quick.
Cipriani now back into Lutzer. Again, Carey pursues him. There's an out ball here, and Ramsey's going to have to be on his toes here, but he just times that perfectly well. Just for a second there, I thought he might be late to it, but he does really well, Kane Ramsey, and gets the ball up to Kelman under pressure, though can only chest the ball to Lutzer, and Watford have it back. Doumbia forced backwards to Abankwah. Good pressure from a combination of Coventry and Apter. It's back inside to Selvig, edge of his penalty area, releases Ngakia instantly. Barr to his right, stands on it, goes backwards to Kevin. Inside to Abankwah. He's got Lutzer now to his left-hand side on halfway, looking for runners, nothing doing, so he goes back inside. Kevin now for Watford. He's got nothing really to his right, and Campbell forces him backwards all the way to his keeper because he had nothing on. And Selvig now will take his time with this as he looks for an out ball. It's expected line to be Abankwah or Kevin, and it is Abankwah. Under pressure from Kelman, has to go back to his keeper, who's in front of the packed out Jimmy Seed stand, which we'll expect to see once or twice this season. And now Watford have it on the left with Doumbia. Ball inside to Cipriani, who's a bit of time and space to turn. Switches it across to Barr. Don't put too much on that, but Barr holds it up. Ball inside is just about found Sissoko. Avoids Edwards, and the ball across. Carey back there slips over as he went to clear it. Unfortunately, Coventry was on hand. Could get it back to Kaminski, who clears it away. And Kevin under pressure from Campbell. Good pressure. Has to put it out for a Charlton throw.
Yeah. And it's important that pressure was there and it was put out for a throw, because the more we go long and the more they retain possession from that long ball. It's just started happening in the last 3 or 4 minutes. When we go long and they retain possession, we can't get our back line up and the unit distances start to be stretched, and that's what Watford want. It's key to their game. If they stretch our units and there's space to play in between, that suits Watford. The more condensed we can make it, so if it goes long and we keep possession, it allows the back line to get up and the unit distance to be tighter, which will suit us.
So Mari Bell with the ball on his left-hand side. He's been pressured in here and he's forced backwards. Oh, no, it had to be a foul. Well, the assistant over there who's like 10 yards away, gives nothing, and the referee's about 30 yards away, gives a free kick.
Yeah, I think they have to wait, but I still don't. To this day, I don't understand when you're the closest official and you can see it's a free kick. Why wouldn't you flag that up? But I'm pretty sure they're told to wait these days, which I don't get.
Commentary possession for Charlton, switches it right to Ramsey, back inside to Doherty, who tried to go instantly forward, but would have done better to hang on because he'd given the ball straight to Lousa. Sissoko, the overlapping Ngakia. Well, I thought about a shot, instead goes right to Barr. Barr lifts the ball into the box. Ramsey with the header away. Lousa touches it into the feet of Bola. Out here to Doumbia on the left. Ball into the box, blocked by Ramsey, and that hit him in the midriff, which will smarten a bit, and it's away for a Watford throw by the corner flag.
Yeah, I mean, they push both fullbacks inside, don't they? Bola and Ngakia are inverted, and that's why you see it's hard, because in the midfield it goes to shut those down, and that's why Lousa has a lot of time and space. That ball went into him, and if you want to see little differences between League One and Championship, have a look at that fella and how he reacts when the ball comes into his feet. First time round the corner, great ball out to the front left player, and Watford have good possession in the final third.
Bola with a long throw and Lousa with a touch, and so the second touch coming from Kirungard. Fortunately, Charlton were on hand to clear it away, but only as far as Lousa. He's going to knock this back into the penalty area. It's a deep one. Header up in the air from Barr. Out of play for a Charlton goal kick. Just pressure from the visitors in the last few minutes that Charlton are having to deal with. We've had a quarter of an hour, still goalless here at the Valley though.
Yeah, look, they've had good possession and they're having moments, but we are pretty resilient defensively. We showed that last year and we're showing it again now. The worry for me at the moment in the last 6, 7, 8 minutes is we have created precious little in terms of possession and holding the ball up in the final third. Suddenly Campbell and Kelman look a little bit isolated. Our midfield's dropped in front of the back line, and so therefore we're now playing a lot deeper than we were in the first 5, 6, 7 minutes of this game. And we've got to find a way to change that in terms of how can we keep possession, get it into the front line, back into midfield, and retain possession in the Watford half, which we haven't done in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes.
And we didn't do it there either from the goal kick. Watford regained possession, tried to go down the left-hand side, but put too much on it, so Ramsey has a throw. Almost parallel to the Charlton penalty area. Down the line it goes, looking for Kelman. It's going to go beyond him, headed away by Abankwa. Touched on by Doumbia. Kirungard comes short. Jones with a foot in. It should be a Watford throw, I think it is. Throw goes back to Abankwa. Inside of him is Kevin. Out to his right is Ngakia. Cuts inside, but nowhere to go, so he has to go back to Kevin. Now out to Sissoko. Sissoko looks for the ball down the line. Bell had to touch it because Kirungard had peeled away from Jones, and he'd have been in behind had Bell not made that touch, but he has to concede the corner.
Yeah. Just again, takes a little bit of time. You know, this is the first time that we're seeing Watford. I'm sure we'll have had them watch pre-season, but pre-season friendlies are notoriously hard to gain or gather the information you need to get the setup right. But we've had 20 minutes now, and the players are starting to get free for Watford. We need to start closing down a little bit quicker.
Corner comes into the box. It's gone straight through everybody. Cipriano looked like he was going to get a free header, but it went past him. But Watford still have possession with Ngakia on the left-hand side. Up against Doherty, cuts in on his right, takes the shot. Oh, that's a good header from Ramsey. I think Kaminski may have had it covered. Ngakia with a header again, and then Edwards fouled as he went to head it clear by Kevin. Charlton have a free kick edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, getting made claims for Charlton. You know, feel a little hard done by on free kicks. I thought Watford might have had one there with the challenge on Ngakia, but he's let that one go as well. So at least they're consistent with what they're not seeing, and that's quite nice to see actually, because you don't want the referee whistling every 20 seconds or so. But yeah, excellent header from Ramsey in that, because that was a decent strike on target. Kaminski was scrambling across his goal. Very good defensive header from Ramsey.
Ball out to Barr from the resulting free kick. Goes back to Kaminski. He's got Roy Jones to his right. Instead, I thought about going long and then changed his mind. Wants Kelman to come shorter now. So lifts the ball up to Kelman. Cheska has to be a foul. And nothing again as Charlton retain possession, but more by luck than judgment. Coventry out to Jones. Coventry will want it back. Turns. Bell out to his left. Bell with Edwards further on. Edwards supposed to turn actually. Edwards, and then cuts inside. Coventry in support, as is Doherty now, and Ramsey to his right. Ken Ramsey. He's got Apter hugging the touchline, looking to take his man on. Cuts inside. Apter has got Coventry in the centre. Might go back out to Apter, and does. Apter now taking on Doumbia. Cuts in on his left again. Drifts the ball into the box, but easy for Selvik to pick ahead of Kelman.
Yeah, a little too much air underneath the ball. Made it a nice, easy claim for Selvik, but very good possession from Charlton, and I think that's what we need. We need a couple of good spells of possession where we keep the ball and we're not chasing down. We've spent the last 10 minutes chasing the ball, and it's much harder when you're just shadowing and chasing than it is when you're in control and in possession of the ball. So a couple of good spells of possession needed for Charlton.
Jones does well to win the ball back for Charlton. It's Apter. Lovely little reverse pass, looking for Carey. He's just gone past him. Looked like he might have been able to touch it past Kevin and get away, but he's just missed it. And it's allowed Selvik to come and pounce on it, edge of the area, and Kurumgard has stayed down after that challenge from Jones. There's the ball forward from Abankwah, looking for Kurumgard, who was felt he was hard done by with Jones's challenge. And it's one of those again that quite could easily have been a free kick, but the referee is allowing those challenges to go.
Yeah, but not really. The one big positive for me in the first 20 minutes is I've looked at Ramsey get tight nice and quickly on balls up to the front players. Same with Jones, and they've pretty much started where they left off at the end of last season. They want to be on the front foot. Anything that goes up to those front boys, they're trying to get on the front foot to win it straight away, which is great to see. Love that little attempt of the link up with Apter driving inside to Carey off the shoulder. You know, we didn't see that too much last year. That was nice to see. It just didn't quite come off this time, but excellent little movement off the shoulder from Carey on the inside run from Apter.
Watford play it through the middle. Sissoko now looking for Ngakia on the right, who's got space to move into. Cuts inside. Still Ngakia, who's got Paola inside of him. Doumbia out to the left. Up against Apter. Looks to go past him. Apter stops that, but can't stop the cross from the other foot. Doherty heads it away. Campbell with a little touch ahead of Sissoko, but he can't get on the end of his own touch. Sissoko tidies up, back to Kevin. To his left is Abankwah. Doumbia still hugging the touchline, but Abankwah decides to bring it forward. That's a good foot in from Kelman. Win it back for Charlton, and then Doherty finds Campbell. Campbell with the run on Kevin. Kelman ahead of him to his right, just misses the pass. Has to go back to Apter. Apter inside to Doherty. Will there be a shot from the captain here? Referee's in the way. Has to go left to Coventry. Coventry lifts the ball across, but nobody there.
Yeah. I think Doherty wanted the shot.
Doherty's livid with the referee.
Yeah.
Just didn't even attempt to get out of the way.
Yeah, I think he wanted the shot as well. He was teeing himself up for it. And actually the ball from Coventry, Kelman had just peeled off and was in space to be found, and the cross from Coventry was 5 yards off target. But yeah, he was he just teeing out there? Maybe.
Well, the referee was running in the same direction as Doherty. Surely just step back.
Yeah. So easy.
Yeah,
it's one of those ones where he makes a decision, and he did get in the way.
With that, I think it's a perfect opportunity after a word from you, Brownie, to hand you over to Greg Stubley for the rest of this first half.
But what was encouraging about that last passage of play was Watford are willing to leave themselves, you know, wide open if you can get the turnover at the right time. And I think it was Kelman coming back who nicked it off the midfielder that's allowed us to have that last attempt, and that'll be encouraging for Charlton, knowing that if they get their press right, if they can nick it at the right times in the middle of the pitch, there are opportunities to counter.
Well, thank you, Tal. Just as you join us again, foul coming against Kane Ramsey, I think, or maybe Amari Bell was over on that side, and Charlton have the free kick. 23 minutes played, Charlton 0, Watford 0. If you're just tuning in, Charlton got the best chance of the game. Lloyd Jones, continuing his run from defence, was found well by Rob Apter in the penalty area. First time half volley saved by Eagles Selvik in the Watford goal. Watford have had a bit more possession since then without causing too many problems for Thomas Kaminski on his Charlton debut thus far. This is Kaminski's ball up towards Kelman. Touch comes down, and by Carey, and it's out of play for a Watford throw, which goes backwards, and a Banquet returning to the Valley after his brief loan spell here under Michael Appleton.
Yeah, I think he's a better centre-half than he was a right-back, and I don't think he got a fair opportunity here.
Joined at the wrong time, you'd say, as well.
I agree.
Selvik with the ball. Kadumgard the target. Got something on there as Ramsey heads it away. Doherty touches down. And good ball back towards Edwards. Did well to control it. And it's a good ball up towards Campbell. Campbell gets beyond Cipriano. It brings him down. That will be the first yellow card of this afternoon, as Campbell had Apter in a bit of space to the right. Cynical foul, yellow card given.
Yeah, what I love about that move is you see a lot of Charlton players, when the ball goes up to them, their first touch is back towards their own goal. What I loved about that from Tyrese Campbell, back foot, taking it on the left instep so that he can naturally turn in one movement, and that allows him to then continue that momentum forward, and the challenge comes on the inside, and you've got to win the ball cleanly if you're going to go to ground like that in this day and age. And Cipriano didn't, and the yellow card produced. But I love that from Tyrese Campbell, back foot, turning one motion, allowing him to accelerate away.
Charlton free kick taken short by Sonny Carey. Out to Bell, left-footed cross in the penalty area. Is cleared away by Doumbia. Way back to Connor Coventry. Looks forward up to the target. It's a wonderful pass. If Apter can get there, he gets something on it. It's awkward for Watford to deal with as Carey fights to win it back. As Carey still has it for Charlton. Almost a foul against him, inside to Apter, left-footed effort, creeping towards the far post, and the goalkeeper diving beyond him, just wide.
Yeah, and for everybody that watched the highlights over the summer after we signed him, that's what he brings to the table. I said earlier, I love the drive on the outside and the delivery on the right foot in the early stage of this game that allowed Jones to have the opportunity. And on this occasion, he shows you the other side of his game. If he gets half a yard on the inside, you know he's getting that cross or that shot away. He wasn't far out. He's curled it past Selvik's right-hand post, had the keeper scrambling, just a foot wide. Good work from Carey and Apter to retain possession of the ball from that long ball from Coventry.
Watford goal kick. Charlton retain possession. It's been a match of spells so far, you'd say. Charlton started the better. Watford certainly grew into it, and Charlton for the last 5 minutes have managed to get a little bit more of the ball in the final third as Cipriano under pressure from two Charlton players. A neat flick in there by Sissoko, and he gets the ball back. The right-hand side is Bart. Free towards the penalty area for Watford as Bart drives inside. Goes for goal, comes towards Kieran Gard, who takes a touch, goes for goal, and a block from Jones. Wasn't a lot of power in the shot anyway, but Jones still with that block. It's ball up towards Kelman, does well to flick it towards Doherty. Looks over the top towards Campbell. It's too much on that. Selvik will collect.
Usain Bolt wouldn't have caught that one. That was way too far. I think it was just a curled instep ball down the side of the channel for Campbell to run onto. It didn't need to be ballooned over the top. Good block from Jones. Half a chance there for Kieran Gard. You know, and nice to see the centre-half get tight, make the block.
Selvik outside his penalty area, out to the left to Banquet. Ball back to Selvik again. Kadumgard the target. Handball there. Certainly came off his hands. The referee says there was a foul by Lloyd Jones though.
He's done well there, the Watford centre forward, because under all kinds of pressure from Jones, stood his ground, used his upper body well to chest that down and keep possession. It was definitely a free kick. But I've said this many times, I don't mind centre-halves giving away free kicks on the halfway line for applying that amount of pressure on a centre forward. I like to see it.
Sissoko for Watford, 71 caps for France. Back towards Kevin.
He's not necessarily the midfielder that I gravitate towards when you look at their team. It's Loser, the one for me. He's intelligent. He's got all range of passes. He knows when to play it first time round the corner. He knows exactly where his out ball is when he's under pressure. He knows when he can take a touch. He's got a good range. We've seen him play balls on the inside of fullbacks or wide centre halves. That's the player I'd want to stamp out.
Coventry's clearance was wayward. Bell has to head it forward as Cipriano down towards Bowler. Looks down the line, but that's read by Ramsey. Looks forward and goes on a run here. Kane Ramsey still with it. Still with it, Ramsey. He's got space to manoeuvre. Out to the right to Apter. Apter onto his left foot. Back to Coventry. First time whipped ball in. Doherty wins the header. Comfortably wide, but nice run from Ramsey. Oh, that first seemed a little bit pessimistic to take on the run.
Reluctant, wasn't he? He wanted a pass inside, and actually when you've got the power and pace that he's got, if you get away from your man, drive into that next unit, drive into midfield. If no one closes you down, keep driving. And he did that, and he found Apter just looking into the middle of the 18-yard box when Apter was, you know, eyeing up the cross, drifted in there too early for me. I'd love to see maybe Carey arriving a little bit later, Doherty arriving a little bit later, Watford taking some chances.
Yeah, passing out from the back as Abankwah under pressure from Coventry, inside to Loser. Loser can find further pressure from Carey. Encouragement from the Valley faithful as Loser's approaching his own corner flag, pinned in there by Carey. Ball goes out of play for a Watford goal kick, but the appreciation shown by the Charlton crowd.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see that at times where Watford are going to take risks, and if Charlton can get the press right, you're certainly going to put that back line under pressure. But if Watford get their risk-taking right and they get that one ball, we've seen it a couple of times, and about 10-15 minutes ago, where that one pass does the whole unit, and they have a player in space that then drives forward, and it's a very much a risk-reward, you know, part of modern day football, where you take those risks inside your 18-yard box, and sometimes they pay off, and sometimes there's turnovers that lead to shots against.
Ball forward, Karunga guard will give chase. Ramsey comes across and shoulder barge, and illegally to the referee's liking. I'm not too sure about that. I think Karunga was a little bit unlucky.
Oh, I think that's a good old-fashioned upper body charge on each other. It's 50-50. Referee's been very kind.
You can hear the boos from the Watford crowd, who, apart from the booing, have mostly sung about Nathan Jones, shall we say, given his Luton connections, of course. Have to do
I think he's going to have one or two home games that he's going to come under a little bit of pressure, but he doesn't mind.
Charlton worked it nicely. Doherty out towards Edwards. Low ball in, awkward for Abankwah, who clears it away. Likewise by Kevin. Ball goes out to play, and Charlton with the throw. Quickly taken. Campbell for Charlton, held up by Ngakia. Works a bit of space, Campbell. It's inside towards Coventry, but that ball's wayward. And Watford clear it away. Bell out to the left to Edwards, back inside to Amari Bell. 31 minutes played, still 0-0 here at the Valley. Bell to Doherty. Edwards now for the Addicts, back to Amari Bell. Starting ahead of Macaulay Gillespie. That was one of the decisions that Nathan Jones had to make. He's gone with the experience of Bell at Championship level. It's Coventry to left to Doherty. Here's Edwards. Coventry again, under pressure from Sissoko as Bell inside to Connor Coventry again. Kelman peels away. That ball's a little bit difficult, and goalkeeper will come and collect. Watford immediately roll it out. Here's Loser. Short to Abankwah, looks to skip beyond Doherty. Just had a bit of a grab of his shirt. The referee will play on his bar on the right-hand side. Ngakia on the overlap. Sissoko inside. Bar goes down the line as Ngakia, formerly of West Ham, up against Edwards. Bar all the way back to Kyprianou, summer signing from Peterborough. 1 of 10 for Watford this summer. So talk about Charlton being busy in the transfer window. Visitors have actually signed more. It's Loser. That was Kabanu, goes back to his goalkeeper, and Charlton again. Good pressure off the ball, but Watford in possession. Abankwah now inside to Bolu. He's just come off from the left-hand touchline into the middle of midfield. Looks down the line for Doumbia. Can he get there? He can. Ball in the box. He's actually wayward of the box as Doherty gets something to it. Sissoko picks it up. Right-hand side to Bar again. Loser in support. Bar looking to go on the outside of Edwards. Tracks him all the way. Bar cuts back. Edwards still nibbling at his heels. Bar slips, and still that battle is ongoing. And again, Edwards comes out on top. Brilliant defending from Josh Edwards as Bar's down on the ground, and play will continue. He's off the pitch, so Charlton don't need to stop. Not sure why Sissoko's appealing for Charlton to stop. So Charlton will play on. Watford down to 10 temporarily.
Because of all the players out there, he's the one that doesn't want to cover the yards. That's the truth of that one. As a senior player, he's absolutely going to want to stop the game. But he's shuffled into a position that
The referee stopped play.
Yeah, you have to. When someone's determined to stay down as long as we've seen Bar stay down, it's immaterial. This goes into beyond whether it's on or off the pitch. Is he seriously injured? A referee will get absolutely battered if he's got a serious injury. And that's the problem you have as a referee. He has to make a decision that he might have hit his head on the wall there, Greg. You know, you just don't know. So when a player doesn't respond after a minute or so on the sideline, whether he's on or off the pitch, the referee starts to panic about if he's let's just say, let's go so far the other way, he's banged his head on that concrete and he's out, or he's suffering a bit of dizziness. The referee will get absolutely poleaxed afterwards if he hasn't stopped the game. So I can kind of understand from the referee's perspective why he has. It won't go down well here at the Valley, but we have to suffer it.
Yeah, I completely see that side, to be fair, Brownie. I think the only thing I'd argue is the linesman's there, so surely he would know if it's... Have
we ascertained they do absolutely nothing but offsides and throw-ins these days?
Yeah.
That is the issue with their roles. On a match day. We've seen multiple occasions in this game alone, and we're only half hour into a new season, where they've done absolutely nothing, and it's been right in front of them.
Yeah, I think you're playing the role of good cop for this one.
It happens every now and again. You can give me a slap later.
No, nice brownie. I like nice brownie.
Yeah, nice brownie.
Nice brownie.
Nice brownies.
Nice brownie. Nothing wrong with that. I'll never criticise someone for being nice.
Well,
but I've got a raging old man to my left, so I have to be in the middle.
And you two represent the covered end.
Yeah, me too.
I represent the referee. You're representing the covered end. What is he doing? Get up.
I don't think I'd have had the
Leave him to suffer. We've got the ball. But
Bar is back to his feet.
Yeah, you just can't take the risk in this day and age, Greg, is the truth of it, because if something has happened to him, the referee will get. The assessor will not take kindly to that. But nevertheless, we've got a little break in the game. All the players have come over to their respective technical areas, had a drink, had a chat with coaches, managers, and game's finally poised, actually. And I agree with what you said moments ago about we've had a little swing. It's been for us, then for Watford, and then for us. But the game is finally poised. Where I think we have the upper hand is when we're creating something worthwhile. The opportunities that we've had with Apter's shot low down, with Jones's volley, have been decent attempts at goal. Watford have had that one shot that was blocked, really, that I think's a moment that you could say that could have led to something.
Well, we are going to be back underway in a minute. Barnes back to his feet, ready to come back on. The referee's going to drop the ball inside the Watford half, where Charlton did have possession before play was stopped. In fact, Charlton will probably just take it. Well, they've got it now. Mari Bell's got 5 yards to bring this further forward. Watford are deep inside their half here, and Bell has Edwards on the overlap. Here is Edwards. Went to cross, but didn't have the angle to do so.
He could have actually got himself more advanced. As Bell was driving that ball, Edwards should have drifted down the line. He would have been in a crossing position. It's not a problem that he wasn't, but he just could have gone 5, 6, 7, 8 yards higher up the pitch.
Edwards down the line to Campbell. Over 21,000 here at the Valley. Highest attendance for an opening home game for 17 years as Bell. Good ball inside to Tyrese Campbell. Campbell gets there. Ball across is just cut out by a Banquet. As Watford look to bring it forward, and for Charlton's benefit, actually stops play as a long ball forward towards Barr, who just came back on the field, and instead of free kicks given.
Yeah, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier about the opportunities we create. That's another good chance. Excellent run off the shoulder from Campbell, well found. He was on the stretch when he toe poked that into the middle of the box. So no criticism on where he delivered that ball to, because he just had to get something on it to get it into a more dangerous area. He did that. We just didn't have players in the right position to receive. But that was a good little ball off the shoulder and an excellent run from Campbell.
Play restarts as Banquet on towards Karumgard, headed away by Jones. Apter busy in the challenge against Doumbia, does well to win it back for Charlton, who have it through Amari Bell. Apter's had a decent half so far for Charlton, as Coventry to the right to Apter. Carey down the line. Here is Sonny Carey. Held up by Abankwah. Looks for some support. Challenge comes in from Abankwah. Necessarily takes out the Charlton man.
Yeah.
Charlton free kick.
Yeah, he used his body well there, Carey. One thing I did notice actually against Southend is he tries to draw contact and win little free kicks. But initially they've got a good little understanding, them two. You know, when Apter picks up the ball, Carey makes those lovely little runs off the shoulders and in behind for Apter to feed. And that's the second or third time we've seen that little link up.
Apter will take this free kick for Charlton to Watford wall. Apter, favourite here with his left foot to whip this in. Ramsey goes off into the penalty area. Will be Apter to take. Decent looking delivery. Jones jumps. Jones with a header, save. Comes back across to Edwards, who couldn't get it back across goal. Lloyd Jones denied again by Selvik.
Yeah, very similar height, very similar spot, low down to Selvik's right, and a very similar save. But that's an excellent delivery from Apter. I nearly said before he took it, just don't allow the keeper to come and take this, and he didn't. It was a wicked delivery, on the money, well attacked by Jones. Good save, Selvik.
It's a wonderful leap from the Charlton vice-captain. As you say, good football around, a good header, good save. Good ball in the box as well. The throw is taken by Watford, back to Selvik. Inside the 6-yard box, under pressure from Campbell. Clears it away, Doumbia the target, well won by Ramsey. Up towards Carey, down to Coventry. Now Doherty, under pressure from Doumbia. Now Loser brings it forward, out to the right. Is Barr. Barr down the line to Sissoko. Back out to Barr. And Loser. Loser again. Bowlers come from left back all the way towards the edge of the penalty area, but instead goes down the line to Kiprianu. You know, each time Barr touches it, who's got the ball for Watford? Ball inside. Coventry under pressure from Kiprianu, wins the ball back. Barr, ball across. It's initially deflected, comes back to Barr, whose shot stroke cross goes all the way out for a Charlton throw. A little bit messy.
Yeah. A little bit Lionel for sure. And kind of didn't deserve that opportunity with the way that it come about. And it would have been a wicked blow actually if they'd have got something from that. But yeah, like you've said earlier, you know, this game will have momentum swings. It's just how it's set up. But as we draw close to the half-time whistle, it's a good first half back in the Championship from the home side, and they have threatened with better opportunities than Watford have. But I do think if we can get our press right, I think that's the key to today's performance. If we get the press right and the pressure on the press right when Watford are trying to build out from their own 18-yard box, we will get opportunities.
It feels like as well Watford's best moments have come from maybe Charlton mistakes or Charlton wayward passes, touches. That one from Doherty, there was one from Doherty earlier in the game. Coventry got dispossessed just before that, half a chance for Barr as well. As Doherty brings the ball forward for Charlton, out to left to Edwards.
But I like what we've just done there. We were patient, we waited for a midfield runner, we fed it into midfield. The reason Watford had their best spell was we went long too quickly, and the separation between the units was too big. So when Watford won that first ball up and it dropped into midfield, they had lots of time to play. And we're not getting drawn into that so much now. We're trying to be a little bit more patient, we're trying to find that midfielder, and we're trying to play through the units whilst having runners off the shoulder. That if the run's good, it's there. It's an option, but we're also keeping possession a bit better.
Coventry goes long. Campbell the target. Ball bounces. Campbell gets there but doesn't get the contact for the cross. Keeps the ball in play, and Watford with Kiprianu. Goes back to his penalty area where Keben is. Ball inside to Bowler, out to the left is Abankwah, who looks forward and back inside to Loser. Abankwah again, as we've got a minute and a half until the end of the initial 45. You imagine there will be additional time for the Barr injury, and there's a couple of other stoppages as well. As Cipriano goes long, Bar the target. Bar controls. Edwards for company. Bar still with it, goes in the penalty area beyond Edwards. Ball back as well, read by Lloyd Jones. First time Bar's got beyond Edwards all game. And it shows his attacking prowess on that side.
Yeah, credit where credit's due. That was a well-timed run and an excellent ball to find Bar in behind. There was a hint of offside there, right under the linesman's nose, but I haven't seen a replay, so it must have been timed to perfection. But that's a critical interception from Lloyd Jones. They were set in quite nice spots in the centre of the box, and like I said, centre half took a little bit of a risk, a little bit of a gamble by holding his ground and poking his leg out, but it's paid dividends. Super interception from Jones.
Ball inside from Cipriano, looking for Karungard. It's gathered by Thomas Kaminski in the Charlton goal. Goes left to Mari Bell. On towards Kelman. Kevin's there to head it down. Gakia, ball forward. Bell for Charlton, decent control. Inside now to Coventry. Short for Carey. Goes right to Apter. Ramsey's inside. Ramsey it is for Charlton. 3 added minutes at the end of this first half. First half, Charlton played well. It's Coventry inside to Jones. Jones to his left is Bell. Campbell comes short for the ball. Here is Tyrese Campbell. Goes to Edwards, who can go back to Jones. Watford not hurrying to put pressure on the Charlton defence, as Coventry now for Charlton. Ball forward up towards Ramsey. Lovely little flick towards Kelman. Kelman controls. He looked initially to go left to Campbell, changed his mind as Watford the ball forward, and Charlton defence did superbly well to step up. Yeah. It was awkward for Karungard anyway, but it gave the Watford striker no option but to come back onside.
Yeah. If it's a line that was held on purpose, it's a great line and worked to perfection. But as that ball went up to Kelman, Carey run early and went past Kelman early. And I think what Kelman wanted was support so that he could control and lay into midfield and then make a run off of that. And then once that option had gone, because Carey had gone beyond him, he had no pass available to him and got caught in possession.
Carey for Charlton again being pulled by a Banquer. Ball down the line, and Banquer with the challenge, but could have been a Charlton free kick. Play continues as Apter attempted to take the quick throw towards Carey. We'll leave it for Edwards as Charlton send bodies forward.
I think that's the right call. We're in added on time of 3 minutes. By the time you set this up and get the ball into the box, you only have 45 seconds of the half left. So I think it's the right call. We've gone short.
Apter. Left-footed cross is a lovely one in there. Jones gets something to it. There's so many bodies there. I'm not even sure Watford attempted to go for the header. They were just trying to block off Jones. And he got through 2 of them and still did well to get something to it. But again, another wicked ball in from Apter. That's 3 we've seen this afternoon.
That's a great delivery. It's just the keeper can't come. Centre halves are backpedaling. Players in the box for Charlton attacking it on the front foot, weight and momentum going forward. It's just a brilliant delivery.
Cipriano for Watford. Insiders and Gakia. Bell steps out from defence, and Gakia has a lovely looking ball towards Doumbia. Doumbia, awkward shot in the end as he was falling backwards. High and into the lower covered end. Charlton goal kick, and that could well be the last bit of action in this first half.
Yeah, I think if you look at the opportunities, which was, Jones with a header, Jones with a volley, and Apter with a low shot, and that combination of Apter to Jones is getting closer. And if you look at those 3 opportunities, give Selvik a little bit of credit for making 2 very good saves, but Charlton has certainly been the stronger in terms of moments and chances created in his first 45. But it looks like we're going to head into the half-time team talks at level.
Bar for Watford, and again runs out of room, much to the amusement of the Charlton fans, and that concludes first 45 minutes here at the Valley. Charlton 0, Watford 0. The Addicts have had the 2 best opportunities in that first half. Lloyd Jones with both of them denied twice by Watford goalkeeper Egil Selvik. The first one was a cross on Rob Apter, which Jones continued his run from defence. A half volley saved by the goalkeeper. And Rob Apter also had a shot narrowly wide for the Addicts. Well, Jones' second attempt was a header from an Apter cross, which Selvik dived and pushed away. Watford have had half moments without a shot to worry Thomas Kaminski. I think at half-time Nathan Jones will be fairly happy with that Steve Brown alongside me.
I think he'd be absolutely delighted, if truth be told. You know, you set off on a championship campaign, you're not quite sure what's coming your way, and we've adapted very, very well, created opportunities, resilient defensively again. You know, you expect Watford to have a few moments across the 90 minutes, and they've had one or two promising moments which we snuffed out. And we've actually had moments where we've created very, very good opportunities for ourselves. I think if you're looking to be really picky, can we get Kelman into the game a little bit more? You know, how can we find a way for him to maybe get into better positions where we're feeding him off the shoulder and in behind, or he's setting and making little runs off the shoulder? You know, that's the one thing perhaps we haven't seen in this first 45. But what I really like about the setup, where we struggled from about 8 minutes to 15 minutes in the first half, is we've adjusted our setup and we're much better at nullifying Watford's attempts to play out from their own 18-yard box. And I think there's going to be one or two opportunities as this game goes on and players tire. If we can get our press right, I think there's going to be one or two opportunities presented to us through misplaced passes or good pressure at the right time.
Well, myself and Brownie will go for a quick half-time break, and we'll bring you the second half action here in about 15 minutes time, about 10-15 minutes time here on Charlton TV. Well, welcome back to Charlton TV at half-time, and it's Charlton 0, Watford 0. And I thought I saw Watford emerging from the tunnel, but that doesn't seem to be the case. But anyway, Steve Brown alongside myself, Chris Stubley, and Terry Smith taking over duties a little bit later. We were talking off air about maybe things that Charlton can improve on, or what we'd like to see going forward. And it's being a little bit critical because Charlton have been good and it is a step up, but these are the things that we want Charlton to compete at this level. What are those things that need to be worked on, in your opinion?
Well, I think if you look at the moments Watford have, so because by and large that was a good half from Charlton Athletic. So if you know to draw on the negatives or what they can improve on, you have to look at the period where Watford were in charge, and we forced the ball in behind a little bit too quickly, and we were looking at the first run maybe from Campbell or Kelman and forcing that ball in behind, and you're doing it from a position deep in your own half. So when that goes up and drops down, their midfield picks it up, and it's no coincidence that Loser, the central midfielder that we were waxing lyrical about, was picking up a lot of the ball in those instances when the pitch was stretched, and our midfield just couldn't cover the 50 yards that was being created by those runs and the long balls. And when the knockdown came and Watford retained possession and Loser was by and large in charge of the ball, they looked very, very dangerous. Now, we've just said off air, Loser disappeared out of the game as we started to take control of it. And so if there's one criticism, is you don't have to play the ball long every time someone drops their shoulder and goes in behind. And you call it forcing play. And there's a balance to that, because every now and again someone will make that perfect run off the shoulder and you have to take the risk, otherwise they'll never get in. But sometimes when you look up and there's two defenders dropping to the man making the run, you just got to, at that point, brilliant, you've extended their back line, you've created a gap between units, but now can we play? That's when you should be able to get your Apters coming in off the line and in between the lines, and your Sonny Carey's involved a bit more. So that was one thing I picked up in that spell that Watford had a good spell, but we can't be too critical. I thought that was a really, really good first half back in the Championship for Charlton, and they find themselves, on a scoreline that realistically we should be ahead. We shouldn't be 0-0. We should be ahead in this game. We've had two great opportunities that have both fallen to Lloyd Jones. He's done extremely well, the header and the volley, but the keeper was equal to those strikes. But yeah, I just think going long too early sometimes can be a problem. And I picked up on one or two things that I said it at Southend last week. Tidy up the really simple passes. Campbell had a moment in that game where he cut inside and he tried to rush the pass and went straight to their central midfielder, and we were in a great position. So just don't rush things and compose yourselves and make sure you get an end product when you're in a good position.
We are back underway for the second half. No changes for either side as Kane Ramsey long towards Edwards. Join Charlton TV, sponsored by NordVPN. As Campbell inside to Carey, Doherty back to Carey, who's under pressure from Doumbia. Out to the right-hand side is Apter, lovely ball. Apter looking to take on Bolo, goes on the outside, right-footed cross in towards Kelman, and the banker with a good header away. And Sissoko will look to break. Ball towards Barr, held up by Bell. Bell goes on the outside, Bell with the challenge. Here, Watford throws. Good start from Charlton again in the second half, similar to how we started the first.
Yeah, and listen, we're kicking towards the covered end, which is full of noise. And I always feel like if you can get your performance right in the first 5 minutes, it will elevate that noise, and you do find a little bit more energy out on the pitch.
Ball forward, and Jones clears it away. Gakia brings it forward, looks to switch to play. Doumbia on the left-hand side and collects. Apter gets back, and Doumbia, ball in the box is a dangerous one beyond everybody. And Edwards has to clear it away. It's a wonderful ball in, beat Ramsey at the near post. Kurungard was followed all the way by Jones, and that's why Jones has just gone down. There was a challenge came in, which would have caught the Charlton centre-half.
Yeah. Well, you won't see many better deliveries across a 6-yard box than that. It just needs the faintest of touches, and Watford have the lead. Two Watford players there diving in to try and get that touch, but so difficult to defend. As a centre-half, you don't want to make a touch because you're facing your own goal. You're hoping your keeper comes and makes a claim, but Kaminsky couldn't do that. Great moment for Watford.
Doumbia again steps inside, looks towards Sissoko. Good challenge comes in for Doherty. It deflects back to Sissoko, across to Kurungard. And Watford will have the free kick instead. Doherty brought Sissoko down, so went beyond him, just outside D on the edge of the penalty area as a yellow card's given to Greg Doherty.
Yeah,
good Charlton booking.
Yeah, good spot from the referee. It's definitely a pull. I think he was waiting to see the outcome of the reverse pass from Sissoko. But 100% he's right to pull it back. Where I worry a little bit is that Watford have brought that ball another 2 or 3 yards back again, just to give him that little bit of extra space to get it up and over the wall. It looks like Luz is in control of this. We know he's got a very, very good left foot. The D's 22, so you're looking at 24 yards here, which is a great distance for getting a ball up and over a wall and down underneath the crossbar. But just as we saying, good start from Charlton, that's reversed immediately with a couple of great moments for Watford.
Yeah, Doumbia at the heart of both of those. He's a player that's been subject to a bid from Burnley this summer. Doumbia.
Yeah, he's another one of those ones. He's, you know, been in and out the game as Watford's performance has been. But when he's in, you know, if you give players time and space like that, and that will be what I say about that last moment. Could we have got a little bit tighter and stopped the cross a bit better?
Well, it's either going to be Loser, the left foot of Loser, or the right foot of Sissoko.
It's got to be Loser, surely. The way this is set up, he's coming from that angle, which means he's going to whip his left foot, wrap it around the left side of that ball.
It will be Loser to take. Goes for the opposite side, and Kaminski.
Well, he saw that coming a week ago, didn't he? He was over there before he'd even struck it.
Watford's, that's their first shot on target, technically.
It is, yep.
It's Kaminski forward towards Kelman. The Banquo heads it down. Coventry looking for Campbell, but the ball's wide of him.
Again, awareness of where you are on the pitch and what's around you, because Coventry can take a touch there, open up and probably find Apcher on the right-hand side. He can find Ramsey in the right side centre-half spot, and he elected to go first time because he just wasn't sure what was around him.
Gakio towards Kerengard, nice little flick will find Sissoko, who's got Doumbia on the left-hand side, and Doumbia can't control the pass, but that was a neat bit of play from Watford. Charlton just getting caught out on their right-hand side this second half.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lovely little flick, but we've not stayed with our runners, and the one thing Sissoko will offer is, if he's not in the condition he was physically, mentally he's still an extremely intelligent player, and he's timed that run very, very well, and he's got away from his man. Thankfully, W has missed control, but these are good moments for Watford now.
Kaminski with the goal kick, short to Bell. Did feint to go down the line, came back and then went back out again. Charlton under pressure here as Sissoko following all the way. Bell down the line to Edwards, keeps the ball in play, and Barr with the challenge, which Sissoko's not happy about after doing great work on Amari Bell.
Yeah, he's used his body well there, Edwards, because you know, it wasn't an easy ball to deal with. He's facing his own goal, he's got nowhere to go, he's on the sideline, he knows there's pressure coming from the inside. The first touch just bounced up in front of him, and he just stepped across the line and just drew the contact from Barr.
Kelman, nice little flick on Carey, will give chase. Caban wants his goalkeeper to get there. Bank was holding up Sonny Carey, wasn't happy about that. Caban the ball forward, Loser down the line towards Barr, and Edwards has been taken out by Rodo Barr. And that'll be a yellow card for the Watford man.
Yeah, I mean, tough to see because it was right underneath us, but we're just seeing a little replay now. Yeah, he's just got flicked with an arm that's been thrown out. Yellow for Barr.
Yeah, the assistant referee was right next to that. Yeah, he was just trying to hold off Edwards and just sort of pushed him in his face. Not a red card offence, but a yellow card. And Charlton will have the free kick. 51 minutes played, still 0-0. Talking off air as well, the Charlton bench is really strong this afternoon. Joe Rankin, Costello, Tanto Alafe, Harvey Nibbs could be 3 debutants. Miles Leeburn also returning. Bell, ball forward towards Campbell, just stopped his run.
Yeah.
Didn't think it was going to go that far. Not allowed Selvik to grab it.
Yeah, no need to check up. Unfortunately, that check up cost him getting on the end of that.
Banquo ball forward, Coventry gets across initially. And Sissoko back to Kiprianu. Now Banquer again, who's got options inside. Will use his goalkeeper instead. Selvik the ball forward. Bell heads it back inside, comes off Kedongard. And Ramsey stepping out of defence again. Lovely ball finds Doherty. Doherty to the left is Campbell. Edwards to the left. Campbell still with it. Shapes to shoot. And Gakia blocks it. Comes all the way back to Amari Bell. Goes back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, Edwards quite rightly not happy about that last move. It's excellent play from Charlton Athletic. A super ball into Doherty, who's got in behind his opposite number. Receives, turns and feeds Campbell. You can see what he wanted to do, drive inside and get the shot away, but Edwards made a brilliant run, overlapping on the outside and should have been played in.
Bell inside to Coventry. Good spell of possession this for Charlton. Coventry finds Campbell, comes short. Now Bell. Now to bring the ball forward, down the line to Edwards. Edwards inside to Campbell. Campbell looks for Doherty, and that's a poor ball. Straight to Ngakia.
It's the example I was giving you earlier. He's done it twice today, and the reason he's running 6-yard back is because he knows he shouldn't have given that ball away.
Wasteful for Watford. Ramsey gets across and tries to win it back. Another play for a throw, and he slams the turf because he knows it's a wasted moment.
It is, but I can't emphasise enough how that has to be better. If there's one thing that has to be tidied up, and it has to be tied up from League One to the Championship, and let me tell you, once you go Championship to the Premier League, you just can't make those mistakes because teams will counter and get an opportunity against you. That's not a difficult pass. If they were difficult passes, I wouldn't be making anything of it, but those simple passes that have just got to find a teammate that no more than 10 yards, and we've seen on 2 occasions today, Tyrese Campbell give it to the opposition, and that opposition then break out from those opportunities where we're in the final third. He has to tidy those moments up.
Lloyd Jones for Charlton inside to Coventry. And Ramsey. It's an ambitious switch towards Edwards. Ngakia initially looked like he read that, but hasn't. And Edwards gets there first, and Charlton won a penalty. That was clumsy from Ngakia, and nothing given. Edwards certainly got there first, and it looked like Ngakia may well have body checked him.
He's not even tried to play the ball. That's what I would say about that last moment. It's a long diagonal that Ngakia doesn't deal with. Comes off his shin, bounces up. Edwards advances and looks like he's going to get on the end of that bounce. And there was no attempt to play the ball at all. It was all man. I'd like to. It's a shame we haven't got a bit of VAR.
Nothingness. I think Charlton hard done by, but Watford play on. Bell, good bit of defending as the cross came into the penalty area towards. No, it's Kedongard. He's losing the ball out towards Bowler. Inside is Sissoko. It was so casual from Ngakia, and I think he didn't realise that Edwards was that quick to it. Edwards certainly got there first.
Yeah, got himself in a mess technically, didn't he? You know, and it's bounced up, but there, yeah, you can't just launch into somebody sideways. You just can't do that. So, yeah, I'd like to know what the referee his reasoning is that, I mean, if that happens in the centre of the pitch and someone just launches into an opponent in the centre of the pitch, it's 100% a free kick.
Kedongard out to left to Bowler. He's got space to bring this forward. Out to left is Doumbia. Inside to Bowler again, who's looks for loser. Closed down by Carey. Out to the right to Barr. Now looking to take on Edwards. Still with it, Barr. Looks for the cross, fizzes it in and headed away by Bell. Watford will have the throw.
Yeah, but you look at that there, 1v1. Edwards is not easy to beat 1v1, but Barr's offering him 1 or 2 awkward moments. But look how packed that 6-yard box was in terms of Charlton's defenders.
Kedongard, the control, looked like it came off his hand, but Charlton play on as Carey looks forward towards Campbell, and Ngakia reads that well. Watford looking to step it up in the final third as Barr, opportunity to take on Edwards again. Barr working a bit of space. Edwards follows, comes back to loser. Shooting chance, goes for it. And deflection en route. Header from Doherty. Yeah. Watford corner.
Yeah, and Kaminsky had committed himself to the right, so there was no way our keeper was getting back to make that save. And thankfully it's just skidded above the, well, not skidded, but it's cleared the bar and gone out for a corner, but we are hitting the moments. I know we're only 12 minutes into the second half, but you can actually see with your own eyes that players are not as, in terms of their physical presence, aren't covering the ground as quickly as they were in the first 45 minutes. It is the first game of the season, and legs will start to tire over the next 10-15 minutes, and this is, where you're looking at that bench and the strength in depth that is required in the Championship, particularly early on in the season.
Corner's taken short. Cipriano across the bar. He's allowed to shoot here if he wants to. It comes off Campbell. Now there's a foot race between, I was going to say Apter and... Oh, Apter's won the ball back for Charlton, and can Campbell get there? No, Bar was there. Again, it just looked like he didn't believe that he had an opportunity there, Tyrese Campbell. It was Ngakia came across, it was a loose touch. And there was cover from Bart. It's good pressure from Sonny Carey. And Selvik, who clears it away. And Sonny Carey's done all game, to be fair to him, in that midfield role. Edwards with the throw, down the line to Campbell. Campbell for Charlton, opportunity to take on Cipriano. Watford slow to react. Campbell cuts inside Cipriano, still with Tyrese Campbell. Kelman with the flick, and Selvik with the save. Watford's defending there.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
still on the beach.
I'm telling you, Greg. Physically, both teams have got players that are struggling. They're not covering the ground anymore. They can't make those little 10-15 yard sprints, and that throw-in was 6 seconds taken. Campbell, no pressure. Excellent drive from Campbell to create the cross for Kelman's flick. Watford players haven't responded at all. We are going to see a raft of changes, I think, sooner rather than later.
Carey goes short of the corner. Apter, left foot across, decent looking one. There's a good header away. Comes out to Coventry. Coventry has time to turn. Lines it up again, whips it in, doesn't beat. And there's Kevin at the near post. Now to play for a Charlton throw.
Yeah, just tidy up your structure at the moment, because if we were to take this throw and give it away, we're not set. So glad that they've taken their time.
Watching the replay, it's a good save from Selvik.
It's a great save. Yeah, it's a great save. I mean, he's in the right place.
It just has to react. Yeah, has to get
anything on it. He's in the right place. But I like to see Kelman getting across his man with that flick. No reaction time for the keeper. He just happened to be in the right spot.
Edwards with the throw down the line to Campbell. Ngakia holding the Charlton man. Campbell back to Coventry. Switches across to Ramsey. Dumbia for company. Back to Jones. And now Bell. Further left is Coventry again. Coventry. Good ball down the line to Campbell. Oh, he might just put too much on there. He has.
He's done it again. He's checked up again. Yeah, it's like he doesn't believe he's going to get there, so he slows up, then thinks, oh no, I am going to get there, and by the time he accelerates again, the ball skipped off the surface and gone. It's a shame, because you've just seen what he can do when he gets 1v1 in the final third, which is when he's at his most dangerous. But I'm looking at Campbell, he looks like he's spent physically. We're 60 odd minutes in, and he's the one that's on his sort of grabbing his knees, and sucking in the air more than anybody else on the pitch.
Banquo, ball forward, couldn't guard the target. Wins the header, but Charlton happy for him to do so because it goes backwards.
But now, the pendulum has swung in terms of Watford are being forced long. And Kurumgard flicks it on, and there's no one within 30 yards of him. The back line can't get up quick enough.
Yeah, temperature's just risen as well. It's got warmer here at the Valley as Bell back to Kaminsky. Cameron trying to get there. Carey thought he was fouled, nothing given. There's a ball forward. Dumbia up against Ramsey. Dumbia does well to hold up the ball. Inside to Sissoko. He's got space, and out to the right to Bar. Bar will look to take on Edwards again. Cuts inside this time with his left foot and crosses wayward. That's all that go out of play for a Charlton throw.
Not sure he should have done that. You're boxed in your bottom corner now. If he was going out for a goal kick, no problem. But a throw in 2 yards up from the corner flag isn't ideal. It allows Watford to get across, box us in, and we've got to find a way to get out. He was under no pressure if he'd taken the touch either.
Ramsey just taking his time with the throw. Watford are going to make a change. It's going to be one of those 10 summer signings. The story Irakunda on loan from Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I think we're going to see quite a few in the next, well, from 62 to 70. I think we'll see a few substitutions made.
It's actually a permanent sign for Bayern Munich, should I say. He's Australian international. Handball was given against the Watford player, and it will be Irakunda to come on. As I said, a Watford international, signed permanently from Bayern Munich in the summer. 19 years old.
Well, I think Edwards will be over the moon about that. Well, hold on, let's wait until we see it during Kunda get 1v1 first.
Well, most Watford fans will tell you, Bale's usually their most consistent outlet, so Edwards, to his credit, has done really well against him.
He's on a yellow, and he's just crossed the ball a good 15 yards from where the intended cross was supposed to go, and I thought it was a good outlet. I thought he was causing Edwards a few issues 1v1. I'm surprised we didn't help him out and double up a little bit quicker than we have been, but yeah, he'll be glad to see the back of him, I think.
Kurangard heads down to Cipriano, looks to go beyond Coventry. They've got two for company. Cipriano's done superbly well to find Doumbia. Doumbia with a cross towards the far post. Edwards trailing backwards to well to head it away. Comes out to Irakunda. Low cross is deflected away by Doherty and further headed away by Campbell. There's Loser to Keben. Loser will take over again as we've played 64 minutes here at the Valley. Charlton 0, Watford 0, still the scoreline. It's been a good game to watch to start the season. Gakio the ball forward in towards Bowler, made a run all the way from left back. Doherty just making that point to his forward players, and he wasn't tracked, and Doherty had to come back and apply the pressure. Goal kick taken. Bell down the line to Edwards. Edwards further down the line towards Kelman. Kevin's there and clears it away. And a play for Charlton throw. Edwards asking for some movement. Goes back to Bell. Goes back to Jones, and Jones will go across to Kaminski. Usually put under pressure by Kurangard. Kaminski towards Apter, controls, and a decent ball down the line as Carey gets beyond his man. Sonny Carey for Charlton, good control in the penalty area. Carey still with it, looks up and goes for goal in the end towards the near post. Selvik didn't fall for that.
I just wonder if the cutback was onto Kelman, who'd held his ground. He knew he couldn't sprint quick enough to get into the middle of the 6-yard box, which is where you really want to be. So he just held his ground for a cutback, and I just wonder if it was on. I won't know till I see a replay, but excellent break from Carey.
Defended initially from Jones, and ball deflects down to Coventry, out to the right to Apter, down the line to Carey again. Those two have linked up nicely for Charlton. Carey, similar position to where he was just now. No ball in the penalty area, cleared away by Banqua. Cipriano flicks it on. Doumbia completes the clearance. Ramsey, neat control. Kurangard comes back, makes the challenge. Doumbia keeps it in. Bell has a player behind him, so finds Kaminski. Bell for Charlton, looks forward. To left is Edwards. Edwards inside to Campbell. Free for company, Campbell. Neat control out to Edwards. Campbell again. Just about keeps the ball in play. It's Bell. It's Coventry. There's a man on, so has to go back to his goalkeeper. Kaminski clears it forward. Banker with the header. Carey likewise. Kelman was bundled over by a banker, and he was. Charlton free kick quickly taken by Carey up to Campbell. He's got time to turn here, Tyrese Campbell. Out to the right towards Acton. It's a poor ball. Symptom of his afternoon, really. Some neat touches, but just lacking that end product.
Yeah, frustrating, I would say. Frustrating for players around, frustrating for Nathan Jones, frustrating for the supporters, because they're not difficult balls and we're in a great position. So he does everything initially great. Great first touch on the turn, drives away from his man, pitch is starting to open up. And that's 3 times, which is it's inexcusable really as a professional footballer, and it's something that Tyrese has got to learn, that, you know, is part and parcel of being a better footballer, is making sure those passes stick.
Gakia for Watford, ball up towards Kadungard, out to the right to Gakia again. Right footed ball in, it's a decent one, Kiprianu with a header. That's a decent chance.
Well, I just wonder if there was a flick from Bell that's made that header go where it's gone, because that was a wonderful ball in. Kiprianu's made a great run in between the 2 centre halves. The delivery's superb, and I just wonder if Bell
just got a
flick. Yeah,
I think you're right. Just the slightest of flicks. Well, 68 minutes played. I'll hand you over to Terry Smith to lead commentate for the rest of the second half.
Thank you, Greg. As Watford bring the ball forward, Lusa out to the right-hand side, looking for the substitute Irangunda. In the far right-hand corner, they're going to take on Edwards. Feigns to go past, instead comes back inside to Lusa. Lusa inside is Kiprianu. Lusa once more, still with Irangunda outside. Walking pace, and then tries to feign to go one way, then the other. Still Edwards holding up Irangunda. It's forced back inside, all the way back to Kevin. Labankwa back to Kevin in the centre circle inside the Charlton half, bringing it forward. Out to the right-hand side is Ngakia. Ngakia looks up, swings the ball into the box. Dangerous one. Looks like Jones was going to get there. I don't know if he managed to get a touch, not according to the official. It's a goal kick. But he launched himself at that. Jones is almost just as well. He never touched that, I think, because it went straight through the 6-yard box and away for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a wicked delivery. And again, could we have applied a little bit more pressure to the crosser? It's always something you ask when a cross comes flashing in. Did the man nearest the ball do enough to stop that cross coming into our box? Because that, again, like a couple of deliveries in this game for Watford, it's flashed across the middle of the 6, and you can't ask any more than that for from your wide man for a delivery.
Well, it looks like the Addicts are going to make a change. Whether they'll do so before this goal kick remains to be seen, but Leeburn is stripped and ready to come on. Also, Watford look like they're going to make a change as well, but it's going to be the Addicts the first to do so. And it's going to be Kelman coming off. Joe Kelman, who started really positively, hasn't run his way subsequently. Miles Leeburn will come on. It'll be Tom Ince to come on for Watford, the number 7. And, it's a triple change, in fact, for Watford. Ince will be the first one. And it looks like Kiembe also coming on, but
Watford substitution replacing number 17, Musa Sissoko.
Sissoko will make way for Greaves as well. That was the number that went up. Also coming off will be Lutza for Kiembe. And Tom Ince will make way for, so we can see the final number.
And replacing number 20, Mamadou Doumbia.
It's Doumbia who's coming off. Triple change for Watford.
Yeah.
Single change for Charlton.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, to be honest. Fresh legs on for the last 90 minutes to try and find a winner as the away side, and I think it was right to make the change for Charlton. You know, Kelman's had that one glorious opportunity that he sort of manufactured himself with a lovely flick at the near post, which was well saved by Selvik, but he's found it difficult to get into positions to get opportunities today.
Well, we've gone up a level, but sadly the boards have yet to catch up. There is the final one, which I'm sure went up earlier, actually. I don't know if they need to do it twice. Maybe just Musa, sorry, not Musa, it's Imran Lutza didn't want to come off.
Now, I would have said, as the game went on and midfielders couldn't cover the ground as quickly as they did in the first 70, Musa might have found a bit of space to get that little left foot working properly.
You do wonder whether Nathan Jones will think that the Charlton midfield might do with a bit of extra legs with Watford making those changes. We shall see as we get back underway. Potential handball there coming in, but nothing given. As Bell gets underneath the launched ball forward. Ramsey can't get there, and then Greaves does so, but Carey steps in, wins it back with Charlton, sends Leeburn on his way down the right-hand side. And he gets there, Leeburn. Edge of the penalty area, looking for a ball across, gets it across as well, and it's Carey to turn, but blocked by Cipriano, and then fended away by Bola for a Charlton throw. Quickly taken by Ramsey into Actor, and then a foot in. I think they're trying to see who that was who put the foot in. It might have been Greaves again. No, actually it's Iran Kunda who swapped sides over there on the right, so Charlton will have a throw, and Edwards will go across to send this in long. It's about 8 yards away from the corner flag. Watford with everybody back in the penalty area. As Edwards sends this in. Jones goes for it. There's a push on Leeburn and managed to get it away. Coventry just touches it back to Bell. It's going to be under pressure here, Bell. So I thought about going back to Kaminski, changed his mind. He's been under pressure from Ince still. Bell bringing him across the pitch. Still Amari Bell. Little touch and gets it back. Still Amari Bell. And then finally gets the ball taken off him. And then he's accused of a foul. Amari Bell, didn't see where that came from, but Watford have the foul, and they've also got a man down.
Yeah, I just wonder if, as that ball got clear from the long throw, could Coventry have just fed it back in, maybe on the volley, half volley. We had a box loaded, plenty of players advanced to the ball. By coming backwards again, you just allowed Watford to clear their box and then apply pressure on Bell, which has led to the turnover.
He had a man rushing at him, which is my only caveat to that, but I agree with you, by the way.
Well, yeah, he did, but he let it run across his body. Yeah. And once you let it run across your body, you're only going backwards. And I just wondered if he could have stepped into it and just floated it back into the box. But it's his decision, and he didn't. You know, I always think when you've got a box loaded from a set piece, it's always best to try and get that ball back into that box as quickly as possible.
Well, it's a banker, I think, who's down, and both sets of players, well, most of them, with the exception of Kane Ramsey, who's cutting a lone finger, and then bizarrely, is that Iran Kunda's doing leg stretches. Can't have cramp already, sure. Only been on 5 minutes. As the Bancour receives treatment. Still, so we'll have added minutes to the end of the second, as we did in the first, which I thought was a little low. That 3 minutes seemed a little longer to me.
Yeah, we had an injury in that first half, didn't we? Over on the far side to Barb. So yeah,
maybe just time just stood still. Maybe, I don't know. But Bancour's on his feet, but doesn't look comfortable, I have to say. He's sort of bouncing on one leg, trying to get the injured one back into circulation.
Yeah, probably a good time just to have a minute on that first introduction down the line for Leeburn, which is what he offers. He offers a little bit of pace, a little bit of power. I think it's a big year for Miles. You know, the club's got promoted back into the Championship, and if Miles has one of those years where he stays fit and he performs, you've got a major asset on your hands. But he's got to stay fit first and foremost. I'd love to see a fully fit Miles Leeburn attacking the Championship this year.
Well, I'd expect in the interim period he'll be coming off the bench until that peak fitness comes.
Yeah,
because he's had a couple of real shocker injuries.
Well, and a disjointed pre-season as well. So you're not going to rush him, but I'd love to see a full year from Miles in the Championship. I think.
Well, it's going to be a free kick, and Selvik comes out of his penalty area to take it, sends it forward. Jones underneath this heads it back towards the Watford half, but drifts out of play just before it gets there. Watford will have a throw as we await a Bancour's return. It's on the left-hand side, and it's Nkunda who swapped sides with Ince, operating on the left. Looks to go down the line. Ramsey can't get there, but Jones controls and sends it forward up towards Leeburn. The Banquo back on the pitch gets there. Doherty with a header sideways to Edwards. Looks to send Campbell on his way. It's just behind him, but Campbell does well to control it with his back foot. Cuts inside, Campbell. A little touch trying to find Carey. Carey trying to wriggle his way through on the edge of the penalty area. Just runs out of room and too many bodies in the way. But Doherty protects the ball for Charlton and draws the foul from Kevin to give a Charlton free kick.
Yeah, cramped up a little bit there as well, Doherty. Yeah, and we've got a little bit of activity on the Charlton bench. An attacking one as well.
It looks like Harvey Nibbs is going to make his debut for Charlton as Edwards has gone down.
Yeah, Doherty had a little bit of cramp there
Yeah,
as well on the challenge, just stretched off the back of his calf or hamstring, so that leg was feeling a little bit tight, and Edwards has gone down. So I did anticipate this. It's come a little bit later than I thought, actually. 77. You know, Campbell suddenly got a little second wind. He's suddenly looking a little bit livelier.
Yeah, it looks like Gillespie's going to come on. So imagine Ramsey would switch to the left. Oh no, no. Gillespie will stay left, and maybe Bell will push forward.
I'd say Bell just goes to the wing back spot, and Gillespie left side of centre half is what I'd say, but we'll wait and see.
Certainly Nibbs and Gillespie are the two ready to come on.
I think Nibbs will be for Campbell potentially, I think. Well, it might be for Carey. We'll see.
Just picking up one. I'm not trusting the board. He's got it wrong again. He's had to put it down.
One job.
Glad you said that. I'll get pelters if I say that.
Why?
I just do.
Oh, it's standard. It's like when someone drops a glass behind a bar. You just shout it regardless, don't you?
So we are. Well, Edwards is back on his feet. I don't think. Are they going to take a risk? I don't know. He's not looking. Yeah. It does look like they are going to make the change regardless.
There's a lot of people stretching off now.
They're giving up on the board, and Gillespie's on, and you're right, Therese Campbell is coming off.
To number 7, Therese Campbell. Please welcome number 41, Harvey Nibbs.
And Campbell off, Nibbs on,
Officially appreciation for number 16,
Edwards also off, Gillespie on. Our match winner at Wembley.
Wow.
Makes his championship bow for the Addicts.
He's gone straight into a position that could make him a match winner now.
Exactly. As we have a free kick. It's about a yard inside the touchline, just in front of the tunnel area. Carey over this ball. Swings it in. It's a low one. Headed clear. We'll come to Bell though. He's still got Carey outside of him. Bell though brings it forward. Now sets up Carey into the box. Lovely ball. Carey tries to drag it back. It's taken a block and then a deflection off of Carey for a goal kick. There's your luck.
Yeah, it's a wonderful little bit of defending actually from Ngakia, because that's a great little ball down on his inside shoulder from Bell. Excellent run from Carey, and it's a defender's worst nightmare chasing back in there. You shouldn't really get back in and make the block, and he's done super, Ngakia, to get the deflection off of Carey and out for a goal kick.
It actually looks like we're going to do a back four with Gillespie going into the centre with Jones and Bell out here to the left. So it's a back four currently. We've gone with 4-4-2. Nibbs has gone just behind the front two. Or maybe leave Lubian up on his own. We'll see, but Carey's well forward as well. As Watford play it up towards Kurumgard. Touch left, but the ball forward. It's a wasted one straight through to Kaminski. A little touch to Gillespie. Watford retreat backwards. Bell on the left-hand side, inside to Coventry. Centre is Jones. Kaminski to Doherty. Doherty has got Bell further left, cuts inside, goes back to Gillespie. Now, Gillespie just stands on the ball slightly, but he still manages to get it away down the line, but out of play.
Yeah, that's just a little like misunderstanding. Bell plays that inside to Gillespie's right foot, so he's forced to control it and shift it from right to left, and there comes the little technical issue of standing on the ball. But I thought Coventry could have played forward again there, and he takes a touch and goes backwards, and we never recovered from that. We had lots of players in front of the ball making little runs, maybe a touch, looked forward, because you brought this pressure on yourself with that backward pass.
Gackia up to Kierkegaard, inside to Cipriano, out to the left-hand side. Ball launched across, and it needs the header from Bell. It was Bowler who launched it across, looking for Ince. Bell got there first with a header, but it's a throw-in right by the corner flag on the Watford right-hand side. And Gackia comes over to take it. Well, they might leave this to Bowler, who has the longer throw. And he does. Bowler will wind this up, send it into the penalty area. In it comes. Slightly shorter than we thought, but it's flicked on up in the air, and then a second flick goes across the 6-yard box. Ramsey just about gets it out from under his feet and clears it away. Yeah, it was Kiembe who got the second touch, and as it dropped Ramsey's way, it got caught under his feet momentarily, and he just managed to adjust his position to clear it away for a throw-in on the far side, or the near side as you look.
Yeah, it's lucky there was no one in close proximity to him. Just got stuck underneath his feet, but managed to clear it.
Kiembe back out to Irankunda on the left-hand side. A good closing down from Apter, and he's got the ball off the Watford man, although everybody, I think everybody but the referee saw that one. Charlton look to make another change. Looks like Alafe is going to come on very shortly as Charlton have a throw on the right-hand side. Ramsey with it, down the line it goes. Liban, he went to flick it on, tripped as he did so. And neither official knows which way that's going, and so they decide it's Watford's throw. Liban and Joshua fell over the man rather than the other way around, I suspect. It's a Watford throw. It's Irankunda on the left-hand side. Again, Kiembe looks to come short, but then is sent away. But it is Kiembe who gets it. Back out to Irankunda, who's forced backwards to Abankwah. Kevin's in the centre. Liban looks to close him down. Kiembe steps out. Now Nibs closes him down, forces him backwards to Cipriano, left to Abankwah, and again Liban, the man pressing. Looks like Liban is pretty much operating on his own, with Nibs just sitting in behind. And so Carey almost steps in front of Kevin, and it's a loose pass which picked off by Bell, and then Ince retreating gets there before Carey to tidy up for Watford. Inside to Ngakia, bringing it across field. Touch left, and it's now Kiembe in the centre circle. Out to the left, and Irankunda under pressure from Ramsey, and illegal pressure. Irankunda goes to ground. Will Charlton make this change now?
Yeah.
Potentially not, if it's a free kick that might be launched in, so they might hold fire, but Kiembe comes short for it instead. Back to Abankwah, inside to Kevin. Kevin with time to pick out Ngakia to his right. Now inside to Cipriano. Looks to chip it through the middle. There's runners. Greaves is one of them. Good header away from Jones, and then Bell completes the clearance. Kiembe will pick it up for Watford. To Cipriano. Ball forward to Greaves. Little fizzed ball across, looking for Ince, but it went 100 miles an hour, and there's no way Ince was controlling that. Away for a Charlton throw.
Yeah.
85 minutes gone, still goalless as the Addicts make another change. Carey will come off for Alafe.
Please welcome 22, Tento Alafe.
Charlton throw on this left-hand side. Gillespie with it. So there's a change, another change coming in here for Watford. Just holding off on that though. He wasn't ready. As Gillespie goes down the line. Alafe trying to turn, dumped to the floor by Cipriano. As Kevin clears it away, goes straight out of play for a Charlton throw. Now the change can be made, and it's Alain coming on, the number 3 for Watford. And he's coming on for Abankwah. Goes straight into a centre-half position. Alain with Bell on the throw-in. Halfway inside the Watford half towards Leeburn, gone beyond him. Alafi with a flick inside, Doherty with a touch, gets it back. Doherty, can he get the shot away? No, goes out to Apter, right side of the penalty area, cuts back in on his left. Still Apter, gets the shot away. Oh, just wide of the post. Can't see the angle from here. Maybe the replay will show a little bit wider than it looked. Apter going close.
No, it wasn't as wide as it looked. It was close, and Selvik was beaten. He didn't even try and get across to that.
Still justifies an ooh, that.
Absolutely justifies an ooh. It's whipping past that right-hand post, but I like the physicality there. Tanto straight in, Alafe straight in with a little bit of physicality, kept the ball moving.
Speaking of physicality, Jones wins the header from the goal kick, and then Connor Coventry trying to send Leeburn on his way in the right-hand corner. And Alain just on, takes no chances, puts it up in the Alan Kirbysley stand for a Charlton throw-in. 10 yards away from the corner flag. No Edwards, of course, so Fraser. Edwards not here, so Ramsey will take over.
Not sure how far this one's going to go, but
I don't know whether Ramsey has got a long throw in his locker. Connor Coventry runs short, as does Apter, and it's Apter receives it, touches in. Crossways with left foot, Nibbs is coming in and headed behind for a corner to Charlton.
Yeah,
Just went above Nibbs.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. I love the way we've set up long, two sharp bits of movement, short to receive. Great first touch from Apter. He opens up that left-hand side, pushes it inside, knowing exactly what he's trying to do to beat his opposite number. And as it settles, his delivery, whether it's a dead ball situation or the ball slightly moving, has been absolutely first class today.
Well, Ngakia's not happy. Alafe caught him as he headed the ball away, and he feels he should have got a free kick. Referee thinks otherwise. It's still a corner to Charlton. Looks like there's another change coming for the Addicts, but not before this corner. Coventry over it. Plenty of movement. Coventry delivers it in towards the goal line, punched away by Selvik. Apter trying to get there. Coventry retrieves it, finds Apter on the left, tries to cut inside, still Apter, but he's got two players for company. They come away with the ball for Watford. And Ngakia cuts inside, he's taking a risk. Nibbs takes it off his toes, into Apter, back to Nibbs. Can he deliver? Gets the ball across, but punched away by Selvik. Doherty with a header back in the penalty area. Alafe will jump, flicks it inside. Leeburn can't go for it. Ramsey trying to get there. I think it was Kayembe got a foot in, and Ngakia's got to clear this away and does so up to Kirangard. Plays it inside to Kayembe. Cipriano as Charlton try and pressure Watford back. 6 minutes of added time. Selvik gets the ball away. Gillespie with the header. Nibbs trying to get there. It bounces beyond him. Doherty can't get there either as Greaves knocks it back to Irankunda. Sends it long in towards the Charlton penalty area. It's a touch coming in. It might be a penalty. There's a free kick there for sure. Oh, I'll tell you what. It was Kaminski who just came, stopped, and then went again. And I didn't see the Watford player went over Kaminski, but thought the referee might point to the spot. And then Bell got fouled as he tried to clear it away, but I haven't seen the replay.
Well, if we thought we deserved a penalty in the first half, I think they'll think they deserved a penalty for that incident there. Indecision is the worst decision, and Kaminski guilty there of stopping, stuttering, going again, and then committing what I think is a foul.
Do you think the lack of penalty in the first half has caused the lack of penalty in the second?
You're going to have to say no, because I don't think he thought that was a penalty first half. But we've got away with one there, I think.
Jones brings it down, sends it forward. Leeburn will tussle, something on it, and then Nibbs and Leeburn battling for it up there. Leeburn again, the judge to have fouled his man. Cipriano can't understand why he's had the free kick given against him. The referee saying he wrapped his arms around his man. Watford will have a free kick with 1.5 minutes of added time gone. Halfway inside their own half, and they're not really rushed to take this, Watford, at the minute. Kevin leaving it for Selvik. Well, the manager's press conference afterwards will make interesting viewing.
Yeah, and unfortunately that's going to detract from the fact that we've had by far and away the better chances, and we'll start to talk about the incidents rather than how many great chances we've had and how busy their goalkeeper's been. Selvic's made 3 very good, 4 very good saves.
Jones meets the goal kick, and then Leeburn touches onto Alafe, who's strong pass, and Ngakia trying to put him down, and then surely a pull down from Cipriano on Alafe. Leeburn trying to find him again. The referee's bottled that one as well, I think. Kurumgard trying to get to the ball. He thought he was fouled, and then he fouled Coventry, who tried to come away with it, but the referee's lost it a little bit here.
He's just very good at the easy decisions, isn't he? 2 very soft free kicks he's given in the middle of the pitch, and the incidents that absolutely matter. He seems a little bit reluctant to make a decision that's going to be controversial.
Well, we're going to look at a replay. No, I'm hoping to see a replay, but I haven't yet. But certainly looked like a pullback.
Again,
Nathan Jones has seen it.
It'll detract from the from the amount of chances that we have created and the amount of saves their goalkeeper has made.
Gillespie with the free kick, lifts it into the penalty area. Headed back across goal by Kevin. Could have gone anywhere, and it's gone away for a corner. Charlton with the late pressure. 3.5 minutes into the added 6. Corner in front of the covered end. Coventry to take it. Can the Addicts snatch a last gasp winner here at the Valley in this opening championship game? Corner comes in underneath the crossbar. Header comes in from Jones, and then Nibbs has got it! Harvey Nibbs from the edge of the 6-yard box has buried it for Charlton, and we take the lead with minutes left.
Well, if there's ever a time to score a goal, it's in added on time. It gives the opposition very little room for manoeuvre. I actually thought the corner was poorly struck. It wasn't what we were after, but it was floated beyond the keeper. Selvik scrambling across his line, couldn't make contact with the ball. And once we made first contact to the far post, it was headed back into a delightful position, 5 yards from goal, and on the angle, which allowed Nibbs to come on, and you're just looking for him to make good contact. He did that, kept it down, kept it on target, and the back of the net bowls. Charlton take the lead.
5 seasons and 94 minutes. We've been waiting for that goal back in the championship, and Harvey Nibbs has got it. Great leap from Jones to the far side of the box to knock it back in, and Nibbs was on hand to pounce. A minute left of added time as Selvik sends it forward. Jones again underneath this, heads it back out. Ince with a little flick though. Jones having to get there, can't. Indecision at the back, looked like a handball there, and yeah, for a second I did think the referee was going to give it, but he has. Don't panic everyone, everything's fine.
Yeah, and that should be that really. You get your line up to the halfway line, your keeper just messes about a little bit, winds down another 10-15 seconds, and you drive it as far as you can up to Miles Leeburn and let him contest, and that should be the lot. But what a time to score a goal.
The Valley absolutely rocket.
I think it's fair to say that home form will play its part for us this season. And what a great start this will be. A clean sheet and 3 points, hopefully, sets us on our way.
Kaminsky with the free kick. Coventry will pick it up in midfield, just launches it forward. Selvik will claim it under just in front of his crossbar.
I know this has been ultra picky, but just drive like a touch, put it into touch on the far side for a throw in deep into the Watford half. Don't let it go through to the keeper.
Elaine for Watford will bring it forward, drills it down the left-hand side to Irakunda, and there is the final whistle. And the Addicts have got the 3 points. First game back in the championship, and we started with a win. Outstanding from the Addicts. As we said so many times last season, this team doesn't know when to stop. This team doesn't know when to give up. And in the 94th minute, Harvey Nibbs on hand to make sure we grab the 3 points.
Yeah. And that turns into a magnificent day all round. I actually think we deserve to win the game anyway with the amount of chances we created and how many saves their keepers had to make. And the Valley faithful played its part. The atmosphere here today's been superb. It's a clean sheet on our opening game back in the Championship. It's a 1-0 victory. A very, very welcome 3 points, which now makes for an absolutely splendid weekend for everybody involved.
Well, I don't know if Harvey Nibbs has spoken to Conor Coventry at any point, but Harvey Nibbs has just got the Nathan Jones slap your side of your face treatment, which he might take a couple of days to recover from. There's a little bit of afters there. I think Nathan Jones, understandably euphoric after the victory. And I think Irankunda took exception to that. It might have been actually Barr, it's just been pointing out to me, who's not had the best of afternoons, so he's probably got the ump anyway. And the referee hasn't been spoken to, I think, by the Watford manager, but I think if he reads the script of the game, these goalkeepers pulled off 3 outstanding saves to keep Charlton at bay. The Addicts should have had at least 1 penalty, probably 2. Yes, Watford almost certainly should have had 1 as well. And maybe that one would have made all the difference in the end. But the Addicts can feel, I think, that it's a victory that was justified. Well worthy. A tough game, of course, as you would expect every game in this league to be. But we've got through it and we've got the 3 points, and the players now milking the applause from the Valley faithful.
Yeah, and soak it up, because you know we're going to have periods this year where you're not going to have days like this. So soak up this day, because it took us a long time to get out of League One and into the Championship. I think we're all fully prepared for what lies ahead. 46 game season, which is brutally tough. But to start with a 1-0 home win, a clean sheet, with the sun shining down on the covered end, which is now in full voice, just sets the tone, doesn't it? We go into a we've got a cup game Tuesday night where Nathan will do what he needs to do with the squad. But we go down for a very, very tough game at Bristol City next weekend, and we reset and go again. But you couldn't have asked for a better start in terms of the performance on the pitch, where I thought defensively we were sound. Maybe want to tidy up, getting a bit tighter to some of the crosses that have come into the box, but actually behind the ball defensively today and doing what we had to do was absolutely superb. We've created opportunities the other end where we've made their keeper make 3 great saves and converted 1. And I think thoroughly deserved the 3 points, but thoroughly deserving 3 points and getting them are 2 different things. And it's fantastic to see that we found a way to score right late in the game and nail on. And as Matthias Svensson's just texted in, top of the league for now, Tel. I think Southampton have won late on. Cheers, Matty. Down at St Mary's. But we've had Stuart Barmer text in today as well. So a lot of ex-players listening in to what's turned out to be a wonderful result and a great start to the season.
Lovely to have your company, Matty and Sweaty. 2 absolute legends of this place. And one fastly becoming another. Nathan Jones, who takes the Olays from the covered end, as did Harvey Nibbs. And Charlton retreat into the tunnel. And we look to see who might do the tunnel jump. I have a feeling a certain Mr. Nibbs might be involved in this, as the Valley crowd expectantly wait for that tunnel jump. Orchestrated by perhaps one of the last times by Tracy Lieber. And she's orchestrating the covered end. And actually it's Conor Coventry who's the first one out to do the tunnel jump. There's Harvey Nibbs taking the applause from the covered end, retreats back inside, and that's us done. My thanks, of course, to Steve Brown. Cheers, my friend.
Pleasure, as always, Tel.
My thanks to 10th anniversary boy Greg Stubley alongside me. My thanks to Deanna in production, and of course to you all for watching and listening. It's been an eventful, pulsating afternoon here at the Valley, and we go away with 3 points. Join us again on Tuesday for, I think it's audio only coverage on Tuesday for the Carabao Cup game against Stevenage, and then back again in league action away at Bristol City next week. In the meantime, have a great rest of your weekend and have a great week. Take care, everybody. Ta-da.